any maintenance on it whatsoever. They even have a deck designer, so you can go online and see what your dream deck will look like on your house. Just visit Trex, that's Trex.com to get it started. Tell them Carmichael Dave sent you.
Business moves fast, and so do we. At Bank of Marin, we team up with businesses in the greater Sacramento area to help you drive the lane and score big. With dedicated relationship bankers and local decision-making, we help you move quickly, whether you're upgrading equipment, buying your next building, streamlining cash flow, or fueling growth. From expansion to investment, we're ready to help you win. Bank of Marin, your local business bank. Visit us at bankofmarin.com. Member FDIC.
This Sactown Sports 49ers report is brought to you by Kia of Vacaville, located beside the Vacaville outlets. San Francisco improves to 10-4 with a victory over Tennessee, 37-24. Brock Purdy throws for 295 yards and 3 touchdowns, and Jawan Jennings catches 2 of those touchdown passes. Niners remain 1 game behind Seattle and LA in the division standings. Next up for the 49ers, they take on Indianapolis Monday night. You can catch the game beginning at 4 p.m. right here on Sactown Sports 1140.
Ready, set, win big. When the 49ers win, you score. With 49% off any large pizza, only at Mountain Mike's Pizza. Celebrate every game day with your favorites from our legendary crispy, curly pepperoni, bold sauced up wings, garlic butter drenched sides, and gooey sweet desserts, all hot, fresh, and built for a Niners victory. Download the Mountain Mike's app, join Mountain Rewards, and turn every Niners win into a pizza party. Let's go Niners. Mountain Mike's Pizza. Pizza the way it ought to be.
Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Here's Frank LaRosa.
Born in 1892 to a socially prominent family, she was the consummate athlete, proficient in golf, tennis, marksmanship, swimming, and car racing. Many considered her the greatest horsewoman of the century. She was a pioneer in the field of golf course development with 3 world-class courses on her resume: the Women's National Golf and Tennis Club, Cypress Point, and Pasatiempo. Working for SFB Morse of Pebble Beach fame led to her second golf course development, which many consider to be the greatest golf course in the world, Cypress Point, where she developed a lifelong friendship and professional relationship with famed architect Alistair McKenzie. Pasatiempo in Santa Cruz was her third development, where she hosted the likes of Bobby Jones, Will Rogers, Babe Saharias, and more. Today, her place is alongside many others in the World Golf Hall of Fame. Congratulations, Marion Hollins, a visionary golf course architect and pioneer of the game. That's your Golf to Go. I'm Frank LaRosa.
I'm with Vince Bloom, the big deal guy at Folsom Lake Dodge. Vince!
Actually, this time of year, you can call me the Holiday Big Deal Guy.
The Holiday Big Deal Guy!
Because during the wrap-up-the-year sales event at Folsom Lake Dodge, you can save over $18,000 net savings off MSRP on a new 2025 Ram 1500 Bighorn Crew Cab 4x4.
I'll take it.
And for a stocking stuffer,
keys to a Jeep,
a new 2025 Jeep Wrangler 4-door Sport S. Right now, I've got one for only $36,995.
That's why they call you the Big Deal Guy. So over $18,000 off a Ram 1500 Bighorn Crew Cab
and a Jeep Wrangler Sport for only $36,995. But you'll only find these big holiday deals at one place.
That's right, only one place. At Folsom Lake Dodge in the Folsom Auto Mall.
But online at FolsomLakeDodge.com.
Ram includes 9873 dealer discount plus 8207 in national stackable and holiday bonus cash. Then SN 667196. Jeep includes 4250 dealer discount plus 12750 in bonus national retail loyalty and holiday cash. Must be current owner of SCA vehicle to qualify for loyalty bonus cash. Then SW 543907. See dealer details. Expires 1/2/26.
KHD1 Sacramento. KYMX HD3 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
This is Sactown Sports 1140. Your home for Kings talk and so much more.
Live and local.
Allen Stiles on Sactown Sports.
Yes, on a Tuesday. Allen Stiles, Sactown Sports, taking you up to 2 p.m. Oh my goodness, we have no moves quite yet. But hey, we're only in day 2 after the December 15th date, so you never know what could happen. The rumors are still flying around as Domantas Sabonis' name is being brought up in a similar fashion and for a similar team, or for the same team that we talked about yesterday, for a different Sacramento King. We'll tell you who that is. And here's a little hint. It is, once again, as we keep talking about, the Eastern Conference. So we'll tell you who that is and where he may end up. But again, you know, the team that is being brought up, they're also interested in Anthony Davis. And this is the type of stuff that we have talked about before with the Kings, when you look at the pieces that might be available or they're definitely available for the Kings, it might be available elsewhere, as the Mavs have said they're still trying to win. They're lying, but they have said they're still trying to win and things like that. Where do the pieces fall for the Kings as far as how desirable they are compared to other teams, right? Compared to other players that are available. Would you rather have Anthony Davis or Domantas Sabonis? I don't know. And we definitely aren't going to only spend 5 minutes on something like that, because I think that is a fascinating conversation, whether you have the purple lenses on of the Kings or the Lakers. But that is kind of the discussion right now going on with this Eastern Conference team. We'll tell you who it is as we get deeper into the show. The Dolphins are who we thought they were, which is a terrible football team. Okay? And look, it's all fine and good when nobody's paying attention to you because your season is cooked anyway. You're kind of sneaking up on teams. I don't know who the Dolphins beat in that 4-game stretch, but obviously it was not, and we're double checking right here, not incredibly impressive. Let's see here. On that 4-win stretch that they went on, okay, they beat the Bills, which was actually impressive. Then they beat the Commanders, the Saints, and the Jets. So, I mean, what are we talking about? And the Bills are always due for a stinker anyway. So the Dolphins come out, and we were talking about this in the crosstalk with Kayla Anderson, right? I said Tua couldn't be my guy once he went and asked Patrick Mahomes to sign his jersey or whatever the hell he did after that playoff game. And what do you see yesterday? And Troy Aikman, it was crazy. He cannot stand Tua. He said, I'm not even going to try to say the man's name, which was crazy to me. And then Joe Buck hopped in and said, Tua Tagovailoa. Troy Aikman said, I'm not wasting my time. Troy Aikman was disgusted with Tua. Absolutely disgusted with Tua. And then I knew Troy was going to lose it. By the way, I tried to watch the Manning cast for 2 seconds. They don't even show the game. I mean, half the time, I turned it on, and Peyton is going over an early 2000s clip. I don't know why, because I just turned it on, and they got the game and I get it. It was a bad game, or it was going to be a bad game, but this was in the first quarter.
I mean, it was 0-0.
It was in the first quarter, and they have, Kyle, the smallest little square of the game at the bottom, because the majority of the screen is Peyton showing us a film breakdown. And I get it. If you care about the game, you're not going to watch it. You know what I mean? You're not going to watch the Manning cast. But I said, let me give it a try. I've been hating on it for about 4 years now. So let me give it a try. I don't care about this game. And I still couldn't do it because I had, well, by the way, Schmal and Miles was trying to pay attention. But they're just not even playing the game.
Well, okay, so here's where I have an issue with the Manning cast idea. I think the idea of a simulcast of a game where you're not paying attention to the game, where it's essentially a talk show where a game is happening, is a great idea, especially in baseball. Like baseball.
And they tried it in baseball.
They did. And by the way, I actually like the baseball one they did a couple years ago. It was like they had Nestor Cortez and Yonder Alonso and some other people on it. It was actually really good. I enjoyed it. But I won't do it in the NFL because specifically I just cannot care what the Mannings have to say.
Well, no matter how different conversation though.
But that's my point is I'm not watching the Manning cast because I don't care if Peyton is doing some 2000s film breakdown or talking to Michael Keaton.
Yeah, I didn't even get to the interviews. I didn't even get to see Kevin Hart because I just assumed Kevin Hart is on every Monday. I don't know that, but I feel like there was some deal. Oh, it was Belichick. Belichick was on at one point. That was before the girlfriend. I don't know. And I tried to turn it on, and even in a game I did not care about, besides Schmal and Miles, who finally decided not to take running back receiving yards, and every running back, backup, starter, every running back receiving yard hit. So Schmal and Miles is taking a break. But I couldn't even watch, Kyle, because their game just wasn't playing. And like you said, this is about, do you want to hear what the Mannings have to say. I thought maybe it was more so a split, but it's not really even a split. You would have no clue what's going on. And then they got their little big head cartoon in, out, intro, outro, and then I turn it back on. I said, let me try one more time. And as the game is going on, literally the clock was ticking on the game, and the game just wasn't on the screen. And then after the play happens, Peyton's done talking, and Eli says, okay, now we're going to go over the pick that Tua just threw. I said, I'm done. The pick already happened. For 3 plays. That series is over.
No, but again, I love this idea of like a game where the broadcasters aren't paying attention to the game. I love that idea. I just don't love that it's the Mannings. So I don't want to make it sound like, oh, I think this is stupid and dumb like you are. I want a football broadcast where Michael Keaton is saying I should play the Steelers special teams coach in a movie one day. That's stupid and fun. The Mannings are just not entertaining, and I just cannot get myself into it.
They're on year whatever. People seem to like it. And let us know, 916-339-1140, call line, text line. Do you watch the Manning cast? Are we being haters? Because, I can be a big hater. It's enough with the Mannings. I'm not there yet, but when I saw Jason Kelce in a Philadelphia train station doing a show with Joe Buck and his wife, I thought, okay, it's enough. It's enough with the Kelces as well. So I know I can sound like a hater. So tell me, am I missing something with the Manning cast? All right. So I wanted to give you a little breather there because, of course, as I was listening to Carmichael Dave and Jason Ross on the drive in, of course, I turn on the radio. Let me guess what's being talked about. Obviously, it is the De'Aaron Fox and Mike Brown Cup, if you will. And I know a lot of fans are tired of it. I know a lot of fans don't want to talk about it. I feel like we've squeezed this orange and gotten so much juice out of it already. And honestly, I read some of the Anscape article. I read majority of the Anscape article, and Mark Spears is one of the best in the game. He's a Hall of Famer for a reason. And, it's just the stuff that we already expected. De'Aaron throwing shots. Look, man, he won, right? I mean, sometimes it's just okay to say he won. Even on the way out, even the guy that they traded for, no disrespect to Zach LaVine, I mean, he kind of proved his point with the trade that they made. How crazy is that? He made his point at every single turn, and he made his point with Mike Brown being his situation, and he made his point with the deal that they made, the Kings did. He said, I don't trust you. And they said, oh, you don't? Well, we're going to trade you for somebody that's not as good and more expensive.
And we're going to send you to exactly where you want to go.
So he kind of proved his point. And I get it if you are a Kings fan just thinking, I'm just so over it. Let's move forward. And we are going to move forward. Obviously, it's going to come up today, but I'm not going to spend 4 hours talking about De'Aaron Fox. He's a Robin. He wants to be a Robin, and now he gets an opportunity to be a Robin. You can disagree with me, as Carmichael Dave and Jason Ross kind of sort of did in crosstalk. Then fine. That's my opinion. I don't think the brother wanted to be a number one, and now he doesn't have to be. And by the way, if somebody is going to pay me to be a number two in anything in life, pay me $40 whatever million, I'll do it too. I am not hating. I'm saying that situations, they change based on where you are. It's the same thing we talk about with Aaron Gordon, right? Now everybody wants to laud Aaron Gordon as this amazing player and this and that, and nobody's really bagging on the Magic because the Magic have Franz Wagner and Paolo Banchero. But Aaron Gordon is now a third option on the Nuggets, right? He was never, when you get drafted where Aaron Gordon got drafted, he was never going to be able to be you don't drop options, right? You don't drop options on a team that you're on. And if it does, you were never actually anointed as that guy. This is something that I think Keegan, it could happen to Keegan and they could keep Keegan because Keegan was never really anointed as that guy. DeMar saying this is Keegan's team, that's just because the rest of them are going to be gone, right? That doesn't necessarily mean that Keegan is going to be that dude. So if they brought somebody else along, that would be a little different. But when you are anointed as that guy, and then it feels like you've hit a plateau or if you hit a ceiling, then it goes in a different direction. That's just how it works. We've never seen, you know what I've never seen? I'm sure it's happened before, but typically when somebody gets hired, and we'll see what happens with Kafka. Okay, Kafka with the Giants. I saw this funny clip of him. He was just cussing for no reason, and people were saying it was just kind of awkward, but he's trying to get the guys motivated. I actually played summer ball with his little brother, so I'm wishing the best for the Kafka family for sure. But we'll see what happens there. An interim coach very rarely goes back to their original position, right? Because it's weird once you have tasted the kind of head coaching chops, right, to then go back to regress, okay? And now he's just an assistant coach on the same team. It's just awkward, right? Look, there are people in this industry that are going through a tough time right now. And it stinks that a lot of times this happens during the holidays. I have colleagues that have lost their jobs, and I know a lot of you do in different industries, and guys that we didn't necessarily go to college at the same time, but we went to the same college, so we've kept the connection there and things like that. When layoffs happen, right, when they lay off a radio host, they don't give you an option, hey, do you want to be a producer, right? Do you want to, hey, we know, right? And you know what? I'll just kind of put it out there. My guy, Zach Gelb, okay? He went to Temple University just like me, made his way up, national show on the Infinity Sports Network. He just announced that I believe he's done on Friday. There are a couple different guys, hosts in general for the Infinity Sports Network as they're moving towards a merger with Westwood One. So, you know, this industry is tough, man. So in these situations, they're not going to say, hey, you had a national show for the last, I think, 2 years, but he was at CBS and then Infinity since 2018. They're not going to say, hey, do you want to be a producer, right? Because kind of the toothpaste is out of the tube. When they have layoffs in the tech world, all right, the spot that I left, after I left, they had a round of layoffs, okay? One of the guys that they laid off, he was my boss, senior director of operations. They don't say, hey, you maybe want to take a pay cut. They don't give you that option because it's awkward, because a lot of things change, and because they viewed you as something. If you are not progressing, you are regressing. And if you start regressing, then it's time for the company, whoever it may be, to move on. Or they're just trying to save money. We know that happens a lot too. So with De'Aaron Fox, there was never going to be De'Aaron was our number one, but now we have to look around to find another number one. No, brother. No, we moved Tyrese Halliburton. Now, we can get into why it was Tyrese and not De'Aaron. Conversation for a different day. But no, Tyrese is gone. We wanted you. We paired up Domantas Sabonis with you. There's no conversation now about going and getting another number one. You were the one battling Steph. You were the one that signed to Steph's shoe. I don't know what happens there, by the way, since Steph is almost done. You were the one that had all of that going for you, the clutch player of the year. We can't then find, especially in Sacramento, how do you expect us to find the actual number one if you're not our number one? So it was never going to happen. So that's why I take the stuff that De'Aaron says with a grain of salt. I don't have any ill will. I don't know the dude. I asked him a couple questions during my time here. Look, man, everybody has their story and everybody is going to stick to it. This thing is way deeper than a lot of people realize. And remember yesterday when I said people tell you information that you're not allowed to say on the air? They tell me, Allen, with your big mouth, don't say it on the air. There's a lot of stuff that I've been told about the De'Aaron Fox situation that I am not allowed to say on the air. But because I have that context, I can maybe give him a little bit more grace than maybe a fan would that doesn't know that. So with that being said, there was a lot of stuff that went down. And there's a lot of stuff that went down with players that are still on the team. Okay? And somebody else brought up that when De'Aaron was asked, does he talk to anybody? And he only talks to Keegan Murray. And somebody brought up, it's been so long, I completely forgot about the whole De'Aaron and Malik best friends thing, which I always thought was overblown just from my eyes, just from my eyesight, right? And somebody brought up, man, he doesn't talk to Malik anymore. Look, man, like I said, some stuff happened. Some people know the full story. Some people, I don't know the full story. I've just been told certain things in general, but it is not as simple, I would say, as, man, Malik came back to play with De'Aaron, and I would say it in that way. Malik came back to play with De'Aaron, and now De'Aaron's leaving him out to dry. It's never that simple, and this situation wasn't that simple. But like I said, I can't say anything else more because I was told not to say anything more, but that helps to give everyone a bit more context. It's not as simple as that. So as I say, we're not going to talk about De'Aaron a lot. I did want to kind of empty that clip on everything because we got 4 hours and we are not going to spend it on somebody that does not play for the Sacramento Kings anymore. Okay, because there are players that do play for the Sacramento Kings. They might not be playing well, but they do play for the Sacramento Kings.
Or for much longer.
But as of today, they play for the Sacramento Kings. And one of those guys, as we look at the De'Aaron thing, we can flip it onto the other side of it, and we can say this. Why is nobody talking about Domantas Sabonis? This is coming up at 11 o'clock. Okay, I thought about this for a long time. Allen's Epiphany at 11 o'clock. Why is nobody talking about the fact that Domantas Sabonis has not even been brought up to Scott Perry? Think about that. Besides, I know the AAVs or whatever, but Domantas Sabonis is owed the most money on the team, okay? And the AAV, he's right there with Zach LaVine. He was supposed to be, Kyle says Domantas Sabonis was the best player on the team over De'Aaron Fox. Name me another situation where a GM comes in and just doesn't talk about the current best player on the team. Not at all. Not at all. And nobody is even asking him. Why aren't we talking? We're talking about the disconnect yesterday between Doug Christie and the players. I think we're talking about the wrong disconnect. The fact of the matter is that, and then you have Sam Amick saying for the foreseeable future, right? And those words, Kyle, those words like foreseeable future, that means you don't know, right? It can change at any moment. Words like that, it gives you an ability to get out. Right, the foreseeable future that could be 2 years, that could be 1 year. It reminds me, Kyle, of
it could be 2 months. No one foresaw Mike Brown getting fired.
Exactly. It reminds me of just all those situations where it's an undisclosed amount of time, so anything can swap out. Right? Anything can change when you say the words foreseeable. Okay, foreseeable to me, you know what it is, Kyle? It's indefinitely. Draymond Green is suspended for an indefinite amount of time. That means once he goes and does a couple classes, we can bring it back. John Morant is suspended for an indefinite amount of time. Indefinite, foreseeable future, all those things can change. So why aren't we talking about the fact that it is almost certain of what's going on here? Domantas Sabonis is going to get his value right, okay? And I don't think anybody would blame him, but after that, he's probably going to ask for a trade. Why would he stay? There's only a couple specific situations where I see Domantas Sabonis staying. Keegan Murray takes a leap. They get AJ Debinsa, 1, or they get a top pick, 1, and 2, that top pick is Cooper Flagg-esque in how quickly they acquiesce and transition to the NBA, and there's a little mini Big 3 thing going on there. That's really the only option I see. Because Scott Perry's saying, and we don't have to do the 3 to 5 years thing, but Scott Perry's saying, yeah, this is going to take a while. And I'm looking, Domantas Sabonis is 29 years old on a 3-year deal. And Sam Amick just reported that he is comfortable being here for the foreseeable future. That doesn't add up. You know what adds up to me? His value is tanked right now. So he's just going to take his medicine. He's got a young kid who they just had in the summer. So let's just sit this season out. I would imagine that until some of this stuff clears out, Domantas Sabonis isn't in a crazy rush to get back. And then once the debt clears a little bit, then he can make a decision and he can come back. He can get his numbers right. And we're already seeing a level of interest now. Okay, so the Raptors, that's the team that I've been teasing. The Raptors are interested in Anthony Davis, and they're interested in Domantas Sabonis.
Six.
That came out from Jake Fisher today. So there's a level of interest now. Can you imagine how much more interest there would be if Domantas Sabonis is putting up the numbers he put up, not just in 2023, but that 2024 season? That's when he was basically 7th. That's when he didn't get all NBA, or he barely got it, but he was on the MVP ladder essentially all season.
No, he was all NBA, but he didn't make the All-Star team.
That's right. So he can get back to that, you can imagine, and you fry another year off of that contract. He can get back to that. I think the writing is on the wall, but we're just not talking about it. It's so funny to me.
Well, you talk about foreseeable future of 3 to 5 years and him having, after this year, 2 more years left on his contract. I think the other part of this too, and we'll talk about it more probably after the trade deadline, is this summer he is eligible for a 3-year extension up to, depending on his All-NBA status, up to $60 million per year.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, come on.
If
nobody's paying him that.
But if they want to extend, they being Sabonis and his family, that could create an awkward conversation if Sacramento is like, actually, we don't want to offer you a contract extension. Remember, with 2 years left on his deal, they offered De'Aaron the 3-year max extension, and De'Aaron said no.
Yeah.
If Sabonis says, I will take the 3-year max extension, and the Kings say no, or there's some level of negotiation that they can't get to, that could create an awkward situation that, again, maybe they didn't foresee when they said we would like to be in Sacramento for the long run.
Well, and I think that's an outstanding point, because essentially right now they're going to say exactly what the information that Sam Amick is getting and Sam Amick is putting out. If they don't get that, because they don't know whether or not Sacramento is going to give him that extension. Once Sacramento, or if Sacramento says we're not going to give that to you, then the foreseeable future, that changes a little bit. So that's great stuff, Kyle. So that's coming up at 11 o'clock. We get into even more detail there. I promise it's not going to be De'Aaron Fox for 4 hours, but we are going to hear from him and what Mark Spears had to say regarding the NBA Cup final tonight. We're doing it now because at 11 o'clock, we are going to get into Domantas Sabonis, but there is some good stuff here. So we have that for you. Your calls, your texts, your Sac Chat, 916-339-1140, Allen Stiles, Sactown Sports.
Stay up to date on Sacramento sports. Join the Sactown Sports 1140 newsletter. Visit SactownSports.com.
Sacramento, the wait is over. The all-new Hard Rock Sports Bar is here at Hard Rock Hotel and Casino, Sacramento at Fire Mountain. Enjoy the ultimate 24/7 sports watching destination with 20 big screens with all the action for the premier game day experience. There's no other place you'd want to be to watch all the games with you and your friends. Now open at Hard Rock Hotel and Casino, Sacramento at Fire Mountain. For more details, visit casino.hardrock.com/Sacramento.
Year-end pricing's in effect. Every vehicle's priced to sell before the new year during Happy Honda Days. At Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
Get behind the wheel of your new Accord or Civic today. Own or lease during Happy Honda Days at FolsomLakeHonda.com.
As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our #1 priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda. Visit us at FolsomLakeHonda.com.
Your one-stop Honda shop. If you love to travel, Capital One has a rewards credit card that's perfect for you. With the Capital One Venture X card, you earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy. Plus, you get premium benefits at a collection of luxury hotels when you book on Capital One Travel. And with Venture X, you get access to over 1,000 airport lounges worldwide. Open up a world of travel possibilities with the Capital One Venture X card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Lounge access is subject to change. See CapitalOne.com for details.
With Progressive's collision coverage, my family gets up to $1,000 for vet bills if I'm injured in a car accident. And that makes this Chihuahua really feel like part of the family. What's that? I don't sound like a Chihuahua? Oh, I'm sorry. What exactly am I supposed to sound like? I guess all Chihuahuas are high-strung, riding around in expensive designer purses. Actually, I prefer riding in cars. So I appreciate that my family protects me with Progressive's pet collision coverage. Okay, maybe I am a little high-strung. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Not available in all states. Coverage for dogs and cats is included with the purchase of collision coverage and is subject to policy terms.
Now is the time before winter is full on in your kitchen to make sure your heat or your furnace is ready. How do you do that? Lee's Air Plumbing and Heating will get the job done for you like they did for me last winter when our system crashed and burned in the dead of winter. Check them out, leesair.com. Right now, get $100 off any AC heating or plumbing repair. Lee's Air Plumbing and Heating does it all, and they've been doing it at a high level for 40 years. See how they can help you stay warm and cozy all winter at leesair.com. That's Lee's Air Plumbing and Heating, license number 635355.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave. I got to tell you, I am so excited to get this decking project started with Trex Decking and Railings. From the first time I stepped foot in the showroom last week, I was so impressed. So many color options, heat-resistant composite deck. What does that mean? That means I don't have to do any maintenance on it whatsoever. They even have a deck designer, so you can go online and see what your dream deck will look like on your house. Just visit Trex, that's TREX.com to get it started. Tell them Carmichael Dave sent you.
This 49ers Red Zone Report is being brought to you by Mountain Mike's Pizza. Pizza the way it ought to be.
Brock takes, gives. Christian pushing forward, flags down. McCaffrey's in the end zone.
This is going to be against Tennessee, I believe. Yeah.
It's a 49ers touchdown. Out of the shotgun. Here's Purdy. Takes the snap. Flushed out right. Throws. Jennings. Front of the end zone. Touchdown. Touchdown 49ers. Jennings broke across. A big spike for his second of the game.
Ready, set, win big. When the 49ers win, you score. With 49% off any large pizza, only at Mountain Mike's Pizza. Celebrate every game day with your favorites from our legendary crispy, curly pepperoni, bold sauced up wings, garlic butter drenched sides, and gooey sweet desserts, all hot, fresh, and built for a Niners victory. Download the Mountain Mike's app, join Mountain Rewards, and turn every Niners win into a pizza party. Let's go Niners. Mountain Mike's Pizza. Pizza the way it ought to be.
Guys, leave weight gain, low T, and ED in 2025. For a limited time, Revive Men's Health Sacramento is offering free full diagnostic panels, a $400 value. It checks testosterone, blood sugar, cholesterol, kidney, liver, thyroid, and heart health. Plus, qualified patients get up to 25% off select treatments now through year end. Call 916-619-3000. That's 916-619-3000. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Allen Stiles. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sactown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sactown Sports app.
Okay, like I said, because this is a show for the people, you got 30 minutes. If you have anything else, because here's the thing, the Spurs are going to keep winning, right? So we're going to have to do this now, and then when they go deep in the playoffs, it'll come up again.
Just like it did with Tyrese.
And then if they go to the finals, it'll come up again.
Just like it did with Tyrese.
But it did finally fizzle. I do think, I don't know, Tyrese isn't playing right now, so it's hard to kind of measure it. But it does feel like eventually the wound does heal a little bit and people do get over it. This just isn't the year for that. This is the year where we just going to have to wear it, right?
No.
Because everybody's going to get their questions to De'Aaron. De'Aaron's loving it. Mike Brown is loving it in the most respectful way possible because he's just a great human, and his granddaughter and our grandson and my daughter were hanging out at one of the museums in Sacramento. It was my wife and my mom, and they just ran into Mike Brown, and my wife was, hey, that's Mike Brown. My mom had no clue, but my mom was the one who went up to him, pretending like she did, and they had a play date. And I forget where I was. I think I was working, and I get these texts, and it's my mom taking pictures with Mike Brown and his grandson having fun with my daughter just hanging out, playing with trains and a bunch of stuff. So got all the love in the world for Mike Brown. So you got 30 minutes. Every time this thing happens, we will give 30-minute increments, right, of blast from the past, okay? Unless if it tracks and people want to talk about it, we'll talk about it. But I know a lot of you are more concerned with what I have to say about Domantas Sabonis' timeline, about the team from the Eastern Conference that's interested in Domantas Sabonis, in the Zach LaVine injury, and where the Kings are headed. So we have that for you. That's all at 11 o'clock. So we got 30 minutes here. all right, to just get it over with because everybody else is going to talk about it. And I was listening to the Drive Guys yesterday, and I thought it was interesting what Jay had to say. And Jay was mentioning how, so all of a sudden, now that De'Aaron Fox is in the cup playing Mike Brown, now we're all going to pretend like the cup matters when everybody has been talking what about the cup and nobody cares about the cup for the last however long it's been going on, a couple years now. And I was thinking about that because we always joke that people like to bag on Sacramento. And yeah, Jay is completely right. This is a perfect opportunity for the NBA. Actually, the Kings have hooked up the NBA with this storyline, right? Because if it was because they tried to do it with Tyrese Halliburton, then they got to do it again because they went to the finals. But this is a perfect situation for the NBA because what do people love in the NBA more than making fun of the NBA Cup? Making fun of the Kings. So you have a perfect opportunity to ask De'Aaron a bunch of questions, to have him bag on the Kings, to ask Mike Brown a bunch of questions, and he's not necessarily going to bag on the Kings, but Mike Brown is clearly in a better position than he was with Sacramento. So the Kings just gave the NBA a stimulus package for the NBA Cup storylines that normally people don't care about, but because people love to hate on the Kings, they're into it. I think this might be the best performing NBA Cup to date simply because people hate the Kings.
You know what's funny about it, though, in a weird twist of fate, too, I feel like people are kind of hating on the Kings and then realize that storyline isn't interesting enough. Because I feel like I haven't seen a lot of general NBA fans at large being like anything more than, ha ha ha, it's Mike Brown versus De'Aaron Fox. Yeah. And then it just kind of ends there. It's not like people just keep thinking about the Kings after acknowledging how interesting it is that those two are in the finals.
But the thing is, and let's not sleep on the actual, beyond the storylines, the actual brand names, right? It is still the Knicks, right? It's the Knicks, and it's Wemby. So I don't know, Kyle.
The Spurs are still a big brand.
No, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, I agree with you. But that's what I'm saying. There's also nothing else to watch. I know college basketball is always cooking on Tuesdays, and I heard Dave say that Cam Boozer is playing. But if you're an NBA fan, right, you get a chance to make fun of the Kings. These are two players, or a player and a coach, and Harrison Barnes. Don't let Harrison Barnes go off tonight. Kyle, we might have to do prop talk tonight. We might have to do prop talk tonight. Okay,
I'll take the overs on all the Kings.
On all of them, because that's exactly what the basketball world wants. They don't have a problem with Kings fans. Okay, but it's fun to make fun of this organization that always seems to get in their own way, and teams are going to be watching. I think they would prefer for De'Aaron to win because he's the player versus the coach. But either way, there's going to be a victory lap from the Zach Lowe's and from all these guys that normally wouldn't care about the cup, but because it's the Kings, it's an opportunity. It's content. That's what this comes down to. It's content. So that's where I think this whole thing is going to fall, Kyle. Let's get to some of the sound that we do have, and I want to start with. Okay, we'll start with what Mark Spears had to say about De'Aaron Fox.
Because a year ago, De'Aaron Fox was playing for the Kings, and the head coach of the New York Knicks was coaching for the Kings. This is actually like 12 days a year ago before Mike was actually fired by the Kings. And then after that, De'Aaron, that was the last straw for him. He wanted out. So De'Aaron tells me now that he's on the greener side of things, that he hasn't stopped smiling since he's gotten to San Antonio. I asked him, hey, are you keeping up with the Kings at all? Who's definitely struggling. He said he doesn't watch their games. About the only guy he's been talking to is Keegan Murray, and he certainly wishes him the best. But he's ecstatic in Texas. His wife is from San Antonio. He's playing with Wemby. As you know, you've been talking about, they got a chance to be really, really special. And he said Mike Brown is family to him. Which probably isn't music to Kings fans here, hearing all that, and but they're both going to be competing against each other tomorrow in the NBA Cup Finals. So this is certainly a lot of irony going on here with this versus the Kings situation.
I'm telling you, they were starving for something. So Jay is right in that normally we don't care about the cup, but because Jay is right, That is exactly why they're going to play up this Sacramento thing. They were looking for anything. This was one of the best situations for the NBA. If it had been, even if OKC had won, and the Magic, if it was OKC versus the Magic, they'd have nothing.
Well, they would have convinced themselves, is this an NBA Finals preview? Which
that ain't going nowhere.
Again, yeah, that's not as good or as
It's not as
juicy.
good as bagging, because people love to hate, right? It's fun to hate watch. Some people hate watch me, hate listen to me. I used to hate watch Alabama. I hate watch the Lakers. I hate watch the, who else?
Duke.
No, not Duke now. Not Duke now with Cam Boozer. Who was I? The Yankees a little bit.
You said Dodgers.
Yeah, the Dodgers.
It's the Dodgers are new Yankees,
but people like to hate watch. It's a known.
Oh, the Astros.
The Astros. It's a known thing that people like to hate watch, right? So this is an opportunity for everyone in a twisted way to not actually hate watch either of the teams, but hate watch the Kings, who aren't even playing.
No, Alan, I don't think people are thinking in that way.
Okay, we'll see the numbers.
Here's what my kind of takeaway is, specifically on the Cup final part.
Kyle, all I'm telling you is this. These numbers, I believe, are going to blow out the water, and we'll never know, right? Blow out the water from if it were the Thunder versus the Magic.
I think in Sacramento, it specifically will. I don't know about the rest of the league.
Want to bet? You want Taco Bell? You want to bet again?
I would. Well, I'm not.
No. You want to bet again? I need a crunch wrap.
I'll pass, but I'm not betting on Karl Anthony Towns ever again. But I will say, I would imagine if you break it down by market in terms of who's interested in the Cup final, it's probably going to be San Antonio, New York, and then Sacramento is probably number 3.
I'm just saying, relatively speaking. I'm not saying the Cup is now the number 1 ticket. I'm saying if it was even the Thunder versus the Knicks, I don't think it would do as well as what it's going to do tonight. And some of that, it's not all Sacramento. It's Wemby. It is the Knicks brand. It's a lot. But there is a portion of that on my pie chart that is we get a chance to make fun of Sacramento. I mean, they talk about Sacramento. They're saying it's all these disasters that have happened in.
Why won't you say Hindenburg?
I'm just saying
it's fine.
I'm just saying
they called Sacramento the Hindenburg.
They do think pieces on Sacramento, Kyle, and I think this is going to power the NBA Cup just a little bit more. I think it'll do better than the last 2 NBA Cups. I feel that confident.
Last year for sure. I mean, the first year they were trying to sell that cup, and Tyrese was hitting the Dame watch, and
they needed Tyrese to win to get to the finals.
Well, I mean, it was Tyrese, but it was also LeBron that year. It was the Lakers getting to the finals.
Yeah. So I'm just saying, it's just an opportunity to start it. Look how Sacramento screwed this up, right? All these guys, because then they hit their quota of, we talk about small markets. We made fun of Sacramento. That's what we did. That's what we did. All right. On the other side, like I said, we got 15 more minutes. We are not going to continue this past talk for the duration of the show. At 11 o'clock, I'll tell you why we aren't talking about the right disconnect as it pertains to Domantas Sabonis and the organization. But coming up next, we have De'Aaron on winning the Cup and Mike Brown taking the high road. Because I'll tell you this much. Y'all know me. I'm petty. There's no way I would have said the things that Mike Brown said the way he said it. He a better man than me. Allen Stiles, Sactown Sports.
Ready to order?
Yes. We're earning unlimited 3% cash back on dining and entertainment with a Capital One Saver card. So let's just get one of everything.
Everything?
Fire everything. The Capital One Saver card is at table 27, and they're earning unlimited 3% cash back.
Yes, Chef! This is so nice.
Had a feeling you'd want 3% cash back on dessert.
Ooh, tiramisu.
Earn unlimited 3% cash back on dining and entertainment with the Capital One Saver card. Capital One, what's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
With Progressive's collision coverage, my family gets up to $1,000 for vet bills if I'm injured in a car accident. And that makes this Chihuahua really feel like part of the family. What's that? I don't sound like a Chihuahua? Oh, I'm sorry. What exactly am I supposed to sound like? I guess all Chihuahuas are high-strung, riding around in expensive designer purses. Actually, I prefer riding in cars. So I appreciate that my family protects me with Progressive's pet collision coverage. Okay, maybe I am a little high-strung. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Not available in all states. Coverage for dogs and cats is included with the purchase of collision coverage and is subject to policy terms.
So Pure Talk just had their best year ever and asked me if I'd like to thank their customers on their behalf for being so awesome. I said sure. It's important to say thanks, especially this time of year, which is why, as one of their many satisfied customers, I should probably thank Pure Talk first for keeping their customer service in this country and for providing hundreds of American jobs. I appreciate that. I also appreciate their Roundup program, which makes it easy to support America's Warrior Partnership and join the fight against veteran suicide. And I love that Pure Talk donated 1,000 hand-sewn Made in America flags to veterans around Independence Day. And of course, I really appreciate their generous support of my own foundation, MicroWorks, and their commitment to help us train the next generation of skilled workers. Having said all that, it's now my pleasure, on behalf of everyone at Pure Talk, to thank you sincerely for choosing to do business with an American wireless company that actually stands for something. And one more thing. Merry Christmas.
Make the switch to energy that works for you. Over the next few years, your utility bill is going to keep skyrocketing with nobody doing a thing about it. It's up to you to say no more. Continuum delivers solar solutions tailored for your home. They handle everything from design to installation, so you can enjoy lower bills and cleaner energy. Ditch your utility company and take control of your power. Check them out at TakeBackYourPower.com and have your home's energy powered by Continuum.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm. I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment? That's a lie. Most timeshares can be bought online for $1. To find out what your timeshare is worth and to cancel it, call us today and we'll send you our timeshare exit kit free with all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley for your free exit info guide. 800-791-0000. That's 800-791-0000.
This year, give them a gift that helps them make the shelf, not a gift that ends up collecting dust on one. During Lowe's December deal drops, get 2 free Select DeWalt tools when you buy a Select DeWalt 5 amp hour battery kit. Plus, all rewards members get free standard shipping. Shop December deal drops today. Lowe's, we help, you save. Valid through 12/17. While supplies last. Free shipping excludes Alaska and Hawaii. Exclusions and more terms apply. Loyalty program subject to terms and conditions. Subject to change. Visit Lowe's.com/shipping terms for details.
At Sierra Pacific, your home's comfort comes first. Need fast heating or plumbing you can trust? Our skilled, friendly technicians are ready when you need them. Save 10% on heating or plumbing repairs this holiday season. Get a heating system tune-up for just $79. Call today or visit SierraPacificHome.com. Legendary service and craftsmanship since 1984.
Sierra Pacific Solar Heating and Air. The guys in the big red trucks.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave, and Timber Creek Golf Course want to let you know is your official holiday golf headquarters. Right now, they've got an unreal deal going. Buy 2, get 1 free. These are 12 packs of Srixon golf balls. Srixon has been turning heads all year. I've been using these balls. And, yeah, for the record, my pseudo hole-in-one back in September came off a Srixon tee shot, and people aren't letting me forget it, that's for sure. Listen, these balls will not make you a scratch golfer, but for somebody like me, it makes the ball go more in the direction I want it to go in, and that means quite a bit. So whether you're shopping for the golfer in your life or, let's be honest, you're buying for yourself, hey, stock up now. When you're at Timber Creek, grab a gift certificate for lessons to dial in your game for next season. Whether you're fixing a slice or adding distance, improvement doesn't stop for winter. You got your holiday shopping solved. Srixon, buy 2, get 1 free at Timber Creek Golf Course. Tell them Carmichael Dave sent you.
The Travel Guys, new on KHTK 1140 every Saturday at 11 a.m.
We'll make you a smarter traveler. Tips you can use on the road and at the airport, plus reports from top consumer advocates.
The Travel Guys, 11 a.m. on Sactown Sports 1140.
Allen Stiles
You can join the show by texting 916-339-1140
on Sactown Sports.
15 minutes away from one of the weirdest situations. And look, hop in if I'm forgetting. But Scott Perry was just on the show. I feel like I listened to all of the interview with Kayla Anderson and Whitey Gleason and Jay Johnson. To be fair, I was driving home. So I was driving home and I was listening to it in the car. Then I got out the car, and you know how the Wi-Fi be in the garage. So then I fire up the phone to catch the end. Maybe there was a Domas question.
I'll help you out. There wasn't.
But I'm not saying that about Whitey, who is a future Hall of Famer. I'm not saying that about Whitey, okay? I'm just saying in general, I feel like nobody asks Scott Perry about Domas, which is so funny to me. It's so funny to me. So 11 o'clock, why aren't we talking about the fact that as we're talking about one guy who didn't technically request a trade, but kind of requested a trade in De'Aaron Fox, why aren't we talking about the fact that Domantas Sabonis is most likely going to do the same thing? We're just not talking about. Maybe it's because you don't care and you want him out. Maybe that's why. But that's coming up at 11 o'clock. We got 15 more minutes if you want to talk De'Aaron Fox or if you want to talk Mike Brown, because I do think it's worth having these conversations. But these teams are both going to the playoffs. They're not going anywhere. So I don't want to just do the same thing over and over and over and over again like Marshawn Lynch. So we gave it 30 minutes. If you're just now joining us, you got 15 minutes to talk De'Aaron Fox and Mike Brown. Kyle, let's hear from De'Aaron. Let's start with De'Aaron, and then we'll hear from Mike Brown, how he's a much better man than me. Let's hear from De'Aaron on winning the cup.
I know you said playoff experience is a part of getting to a championship, but where does an experience like the Cup sort of fall in that more than regular season, not quite official postseason? Where does this experience fall in terms of you guys building that equity?
Well, OKC won the Cup last year, right? Or did they lose in the finals? I think they lost in the finals. Yeah, I mean, and then Milwaukee's won. Like, these are teams that have won championships in the last 5 years. So some would say history is saying that getting here is pretty damn good. The Lakers, I think, won, and obviously they won in 2020 or 21, whatever it was. Last 5 years, they won a championship. So I think history's kind of showing that if you can make it to this cup, then you can win a championship. And obviously, it's much different being in a win or lose, win or go home. But at the end of the day, I think just being able to play in big games does help towards the end of the season.
So that was De'Aaron Fox, and yeah, I mean, that's pretty straightforward. I think that he feels good about where he's at, of course, and I just keep saying it like this. Sometimes you got to admit defeat. Sometimes, as I know, they're coming out with the Avengers with Dr. Doom, and it seems like some people saw early clips of the movie. Look, I love Marvel. I love Marvel and DC. I don't hate on either side. All right, I like them for different reasons. But sometimes, whether it's Darkseid in the DC universe or it's Thanos, sometimes you got to admit defeat. And the Kings got to admit defeat on this De'Aaron Fox thing. The brother won. I read the article. He goes to Houston in the summer because that's where, he's from around that area. He gets to go to Houston in the summer. He gets to play with Wemby. He just got an extension. He gets to see his family all the time, right? The taxes a little bit different than California. The brother won. He gets to go to the Riverwalk. He might own part of the Riverwalk. The brother won, right? And I don't know what the future holds for them. They'll eventually have some decisions to make. But either way, he won, right? Either way, he's doing what he wanted to do. He took control of his career, and the Kings didn't have to give him what he wanted, but they did. And that's on them. And then they brought in somebody in Zach LaVine, no disrespect whatsoever, who is just not as good as De'Aaron Fox. He's not. And people like me tried to sit here and say, hey, well, numbers-wise, they're both putting up around 24 points. The assists aren't terribly different, but they're just two different styles of players. And I'm not going to sit here and say that the story is fully written with Zach LaVine, but we've seen a good bit, right? We've seen a good bit, and we're waiting. Now, with all that being said, would Zach LaVine look better in San Antonio than he does right now? Probably. But I still think De'Aaron is in a perfect position. I still feel how I feel, that he did not want to be a number one, and he was hoping to become a really well-paid Robin in his career. Again, shout out DC, and that's exactly what he's going to get to be. Okay, you want to go Marvel? I don't know. De'Aaron's probably... He's not Captain America, but might be Iron Man, right? Kind of witty, right? He's Iron Man.
I thought Iron Man was the main character.
Sometimes. But then there's Captain America, right?
I'll take your word for it. I've never watched any of it.
Iron Man is, Iron Man, I guess, could be considered the main character, but Captain America is Captain America,
But Iron Man again, spoiler alert, isn't Iron Man kind of the main figure of the Endgame movies?
Yeah, but, Captain Rogers, that's the original Avenger, So De'Aaron, he didn't want to be a number one. That's always been my opinion. You can disagree with it. That's fine. And now he gets to be a very well-paid number two for whatever the timeline is. He's going to play in some high-level basketball. And you know what? He worked his tail off. He deserves it. But we can separate that from the fact that there were times where we were waiting to see De'Aaron do his thing, and we had to hear Mark Jones and Kyle Draper talk about, don't get De'Aaron angry. And we're sitting here looking at all NBA players that you don't have to get angry. They're just ready to go every single night, right? There were times where he looked disengaged. Okay, now De'Aaron can look, and I know Wemby has been out, but he could always do it in spurts. Now De'Aaron can look disengaged for whatever amount of time because he's got a better team. And that's not a slight. That's just what I watched with my own eyes. Okay, and that's just what it is. He's in a good position. Good for him. Bless him. All right, Kyle, let's hear from Mike Brown and what he had to say about his time in Sacramento.
I want to thank the Kings for an opportunity. Levesque gave me the opportunity to coach his team, and so I thank them for that opportunity. I'll always be grateful for everybody that's given me an opportunity, and so they're no different. We enjoyed the city of Sacramento, and thank the fans there. They were fabulous, and we lived in a great neighborhood. But, in life, change happens not just for me, but for everybody else, and you got to be ready to pivot. And, I feel fortunate, blessed, lucky, however you want to call it, to be in the situation here with the New York Knicks. You don't have a lot of control over your destiny or your path a lot of times, and so for me to be able to land within an organization like this with the type of players that are here, with the owner and Leon and his group, again, you just take advantage of it. So I don't have a lot of time to reflect on the past. I'm about being present and trying to figure out where we can go as an organization in a city going forward, and that's what I look forward to and am extremely excited about more than anything else on a daily basis.
That was Mike Brown, and like I said, he's much of a better man than me. And I will say the difference between the Mike Brown situation and De'Aaron is their season hasn't really started yet, right? Obviously, the Kings or the Knicks are off to a good start, but a lot remains to be seen when it comes to their expectations. So Mike can't really victory lap yet. De'Aaron can because he's in an outstanding position and he's only a player. If the Knicks lose in the second round, all of the I guess question marks for Mike Brown are going to come right back. So Mike ain't not to say that he would victory lap anyway, but he's not really in a position to victory lap yet.
The Knicks are kind of in the same situation as the Buffalo Bills in the NFL, where it's like, hey man, regular season's nice and all, but we've seen you have great regular seasons. We've seen you have great postseasons.
Right.
Your entire season. And by the way, this year they're probably the favorites in the Eastern Conference. If I had to go look at like what the odds are right now, the whole thing with the Knicks is just, hey man, are you going to do it in May? Are you going to do it in the playoffs? That's just the whole thing with the Knicks this year is, can you get healthy to the playoffs so you can then win the Eastern Conference like we all expect you will finally win the Eastern Conference this year.
Yeah, that's what it comes down to. So Mike can't really victory lap right now. By the way, Kyle, it was the SMUD Museum of Science and Curiosity. That's where my wife and my kiddo ran into Mike Brown and his grandson. And my mom was there and said, hey, aren't you Mike Brown? Even though my wife had just told her that it was indeed Mike Brown. 916-339-1140. Let's get to Louie before we kick off the 11 o'clock hour. What's up, Louie? What you got for us?
You took the words out of my mouth, because Mike Brown is only going to be graded on what he does in the postseason. Anything he does in the regular season, no one's looking at him saying, good job. You know, he's really got to take this team to the next level, the Knicks, that is. As far as De'Aaron goes, it's like, can you really blame him? You know, he wanted to get out of the Kings because the owner is horrible. I mean, clearly. And then he went to a much better situation. So you really can't blame De'Aaron, but it still burns as a fan. But really, the interviewer, what's his name, Mark Spears, that guy's a weirdo for even asking that question. It's like, what are you doing, bro? You know, like.
Well, I would disagree with you, Louie. I mean, he's playing his former coach that he said, if you fire him, I will leave. So I don't know how that wouldn't come up, Louie.
That's a stray. I mean, to me, that's a stray. It's like, just let bygones be bygones.
It's a stray, but if it was any other team, I'll put it to you like this. If he wasn't facing, if it was the Magic and he said, hey, how do you feel about the Kings? That would be weird, but he's literally playing Mike Brown.
Fair enough. I don't like it, though. He's still a weirdo.
I hear you. All right, that was Louie on the other side. Okay, let's move to the present and possibly the future. Domantas Sabonis. Why aren't we talking about the fact that this guy is probably going to ask out? Allen Stiles, Sactown Sports.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Call Maverick Electrical to claim your free furnace tune-up or electrical safety check with a donation. This month, donate 5 canned foods to Maverick Electric's Holiday Food Drive and get a free furnace tune-up or electrical safety check. They'll collect your cans at the appointment and make sure your heat stays comfy and your lights stay steady, so the only thing whistling is the kettle, not your ductwork. Visit callammaverick.com to schedule your free tune-up today.
What will a Maverick do? 'Cause you're a Maverick too.
Give to get with no gimmicks. Limited appointments. Some restrictions apply.
The holidays can be a time of increased stress for those struggling with opioid or stimulant addiction. They can also be a time for pause, reflection, opportunity, and new beginnings. This holiday season, choose treatment and recovery. Embrace the company of family and friends and create special moments. Find a proven opioid or stimulant addiction treatment provider near you at ChooseChangeCA.org.
Sacramento, the wait is over. The all-new Hard Rock Sports Bar is here at Hard Rock Hotel and Casino Sacramento at Fire Mountain. Enjoy the ultimate 24/7 sports watching destination with 20 big screens with all the action for the premier game day experience. There's no other place you'd want to be to watch all the games with you and your friends. Now open at Hard Rock Hotel and Casino Sacramento at Fire Mountain. For more details, visit casino.hardrock.com/Sacramento. When value matters, Elk Grove Chevrolet delivers. Right now, lease a new Chevrolet Silverado LT for $250 per month plus tax. The Silverado 1500 stands out with composed handling, competitive towing, payload, roomy cabin, and fuel economy. Visit myelkgrovechevrolet.com for full lease details. Don't miss your chance to drive the new Chevrolet Silverado. Stop by Elk Grove Chevrolet today and experience quality that goes the distance.
Carmichael Dave here for American Energy Heating and Air. They're now upgrading what they do to include plumbing. They're bringing that same expertise and experience to the plumbing space. So they're no longer just heat and air. They're now your American Energy home pros. You hear me talk about them all the time as your second opinion partner. Now you can still get second opinions on any HVAC service or replacement, and now you can get a second opinion on any of your plumbing services. They'll come out to your house for free and give you that second opinion. And right now, they got a free furnace special with a full system installation up to $2,500 in rebates, all for a company that's been serving the greater Sacramento area since 1981. A+ Better Business Bureau. 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com. Jingle singers, take it away.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
KHTK HD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
Sactown Sports 1140.
Live and local.
It's Allen Stiles
on Sactown Sports.
taking you up to 2 p.m. And yesterday we talked about a disconnect that Mark Spears making a lot of friends within. And you know what? I'll just say it. Fans did the same thing with Sam Amick. When people say stuff that you don't like, all of a sudden you question their credibility or whatever it is. People did the same thing with Sam Amick. When Sam Amick says stuff that you like, he's the best. When Sam Amick says stuff that you don't like, well, who is this guy? He's just trying to start drama. So we're seeing some of the same things with Mark Spears. When, again, if Mark Spears was reporting that if somebody's trying to start bleep in a good situation, that's different, right? If the Kings were the 4 seed, oh, my goodness. I don't know. How can you even say a statement like that? That didn't even sound right coming out of my mouth, right? Kings and contending. But if the Kings were a 4 seed and Mark Spears randomly came out with this, then I would say that's kind of random, right? Just specifically about the friction and the disconnect. But they've won 6 games, right? There's more believable. There are less believable things out there, many, many less believable things out there that a 6 and whatever team has a disconnect, a team that is walking the plank, waiting to be taken apart, if you will, that there's a disconnect there. Okay, so I don't know. That just is it's not really that big of a deal to me. It's not really that surprising.
Well, even part of it, too, is like the way it's framed also is annoying in that context because it's like even if they were a 4 seed, if Mark Spears is doing journalism, Mark Spears can do journalism. Like, It doesn't matter how good or bad the team is, whether or not you can do a story about X, Y, or Z.
No. I know, but it's the same thing I said about the Russell Westbrook, Ramona Shelburne thing, which Whitey and you both disagreed with me on because I said Ramona is dropping this now when the Nuggets I think they had just won the first round. And I thought this is so weird that Ramona is dropping this. And both you and Whitey said, when you have a story, you have a story. My thought was, as a fan, if I'm a Nuggets fan, come on, why are we starting stuff? We're in the middle of a playoff run. That's not to say that Ramona or Mark Spears should care what I think or do their job at a certain time or do their job differently. That's just my opinion. I'm saying as a fan, being upset with it when your team is good, I more so understand than being upset with a report when your team is already in the trash can. No, that's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I understand your point. We've done this conversation before. I think my just baseline is like fandom shouldn't influence people's opinions on journalism because I feel like that's a symptom of a larger problem if people's emotions just sway back and forth based on what journalists are reporting. We've done this whole conversation before.
But hey, look, I don't tell people how to fan. It's just funny to me. I mean, how could he say that? It's ridiculous. Is it? But with all that being said, I think we're talking about the wrong disconnect. Okay? Why aren't we talking about the disconnect between the Sacramento Kings and Domantas Sabonis? Senor Segue strikes again. Why are we not talking about that? Why are we talking about the fact that nobody brings up Domantas Sabonis when it comes to the future plans? Is it that obvious that he's not a part of the future plans? So let's just assume that Domantas Sabonis really wants to win. Let's just assume that, okay? How can you hear what Scott Perry is saying and think to yourself, yeah, I'm definitely going to be included in those plans, right? I'm Domantas Sabonis, and I hear that Scott Perry is saying this thing is going to take time, and hey, trust me, Kings fans, Kings Nation, this thing is going to take time, but we will get it right. And the Sam Amick quote that got aggregated, the 3 to 5 years, and how much Scott Perry came on these airwaves and said, hey, there's no pushback. There's no pushback. Vivek knows this is going to take forever. And Domantas Sabonis is 29 years old. This is what Sam Amick had to say about Domantas Sabonis in an article, what was this, last week? For Sabonis' part, league sources say the 29-year-old big man has heeded that call for patience, and talking about the patience that Scott Perry has mentioned. His contract runs through 2027-2028 with a combined $94 million owed in the next 2 seasons, meaning his market is inevitably limited by the sheer magnitude of the money owed. Teams like Washington, Phoenix Suns, and Chicago, also, let me just throw in Toronto, that's from Jake Fisher today, have shown significant interest in the past and are still believed to be on his short list of possible suitors. But Sabonis is prepared to remain in a Kings jersey for the foreseeable future. Kyle, can you search the definition of foreseeable for me as I finish this up? He has been out since November 19th with a partial tear of his left meniscus and was scheduled to be reevaluated within the next week, which, by the way, I haven't heard anything on. Have you?
Sorry, say that again. I was looking
on
up
Domantas Sabonis.
His injury update?
Well, yeah, they said reevaluated within the next week. That was Sam.
Well, yeah, that was based on the original Shams tweet that said reevaluated in 3-4 weeks.
Right, but we haven't heard anything.
No. We haven't had any update on whether he's been reevaluated, will be reevaluated.
Okay. Do you have the definition of foreseeable?
Adjective, foreseeable, able to be predicted.
Interesting.
I mean, it's technically able to be foreseen or predicted, but of course it's foreseeable.
Okay.
So maybe we need a definition of foreseen.
Yes.
Foresee, be aware of beforehand or predict. So to be predicted.
Yes, to be predicted. As we kind of funnel this thing through, I have, I guess, a prediction based on what I've heard, what you've heard, what we've heard, and this is what it is. This is what the whole thing sounds like to me. Sabonis knows that this season is a wash, right? He hasn't been healthy anyway. His value is not good, and his agent is probably telling him as such. And I know, obviously, Raptors are interested. There are teams interested. Don't get me wrong. You also have to tango with two. And just because the Raptors are interested, that doesn't mean that the Kings are going to take that package. I don't know that the Kings are in a position where they just want to offload Domantas Sabonis. I think they would want to get some level of value. So we don't know what that package would look like. I think he uses this season to get healthy. Meanwhile, the Kings clean out the deck, right? Somewhat clean out the deck. DeMar DeRozan, maybe Malik Monk. And to end the season, he balls out on a bad team. We know that the end of the season is pretty light as well. He gets his numbers right, and he heads into this offseason, checks in on value and his suitors, okay? And it just starts a rinse and repeat cycle ever so often. So he ends this season. If he gets back to balling at that all-NBA level, checks in at the end of the season. Okay, cool. Value's still not there. He comes in next season. Now there's only 2 years left on his contract, and as Kyle said, he might be offered an extension. He may not be offered an extension. If he's not offered an extension, okay, cool. So y'all are telling me there's a 2-year timeline. I don't see why the Kings would offer Domantas Sabonis an extension. It doesn't really make sense with what they're telling us their timeline is. So he goes into next season knowing that he is now on a similar path of De'Aaron Fox, where, all right, I didn't sign the extension. They didn't offer me one. De'Aaron didn't sign it. So now we got 2 years to figure this thing out. Domantas Sabonis comes in highly motivated to start off next season and balls out. Trade season opens, check in. Now there's only 2 years left on the deal. And at some point, if they deem that his value is to the level of a De'Aaron or some of these other guys, we will get a requested trade from Domantas Sabonis. Unless something just works itself out on its own, because I do think that the Kings are looking to move him, but we would get a requested trade from Domantas Sabonis whenever he and his agent decide that his value is where it needs to be to say, hey, Kings, not trying to screw anybody over. We feel like you can get good value. Here's a list of teams. Let's get this thing going. I think it's that simple. And nobody is talking about it. And the fact that Scott Perry won't even talk about Domantas Sabonis in a future sense tells me all I need to know. So Domantas Sabonis is settling in here, getting healthy, right? Cleaning diapers. And then once everybody is kind of more settled in, each year, hey, we're going to start checking in. You do this in life all the time. Maybe you do it yourself, right? You give yourself a 2-year plan. I will leave this company if I don't make director in 2 years. That's what happened to me. I was flying up the ranks at my old company. I was obviously came in as an assistant, whatever. Eventually, I was senior manager, right? What comes after senior manager? Director. So 1 year goes by. Oh, Allen, we need you to do more of this. Another year goes by. Oh, Allen, we need you to do more of that. Then it just seemed like they just didn't want to make me director. Then in the midst of some layoffs, oh, you guys are trying to save money. So I don't think you're going to make me a director. So you hop on LinkedIn. And right now I would say Domantas Sabonis is getting hit up by recruiters a little bit. Okay, maybe talking back and forth, but he's not actively looking for a job, right? You know how it goes? It starts out, yeah, if something is a perfect situation, let's talk about it. Then it turns into, man, I think I am going to start looking a little bit. Then it turns into, no, I need to go now. So we're not there with Domantas Sabonis, but there has been no conversation about this team attempting, because it hasn't worked, right? They got one swing at it. Zach LaVine didn't work. When they moved on from De'Aaron Fox, they had plateaued. At least that's how it was felt. They moved on from Mike Brown. There's all the rumor mill with Mike Brown and Domantas Sabonis and some of the other players on the team. So now we're here, and he does not get talked about at all as far as future plans. We'll talk about Keegan. We'll talk about Keon Ellis. They had to come on and debunk Keon Ellis. And there's no conversation going on about a guy who is making this amount of money. Kyle, listen to this. This is based on AAV, okay? I'm going to read off all the guys that are getting paid more than Domantas Sabonis, and then we get to Domantas Sabonis. And when I read this last night, Kyle, I know I was a little delirious, even though baby number 2 has been sleeping well. I did not read off one person making more money than Domantas Sabonis who they are not building around, right? And then after Domantas Sabonis, it's kind of the same thing, okay? So I'm going to get all the way to Domantas Sabonis. Shea, Booker, Tatum, Embiid, Antetokounmpo, Davis, Jaylen Brown, De'Aaron Fox, Jimmy Butler, Jokic, Karl Anthony Towns, Steph Curry, Cade Cunningham, Evan Mobley, Luka, Bam, Joel Embiid, Paul George, Jamal Murray, LeBron James, Donovan Mitchell, Kawhi Leonard, Lauri Markkanen. Lauri is a weird one, but they're telling us they're still building around him. Tyrese Halliburton, Anthony Edwards, Kevin Durant, Jalen Williams, Chet Holmgren, Paolo Banchero, Pascal Siakam, Domantas Sabonis. Everybody ahead of him, they are building around him. Now, after Domantas Sabonis, Franz Wagner building around him. Scotty Barnes building around him. Zach LaVine is the other aberration, if you will. Trae Young is an interesting one. What's going on with Trae Young? On the trade market. OG Anunoby building with him, right? Maybe not around him, with him. Jaren Jackson Jr. building around him. At least they're claiming that. Tyrese building around him. LaMelo Ball, trade. Brandon Ingram building around him for now. Kyrie, crazy Mavs situation. So my point is, all these other teams that have given this level of money, they are building around this player, or they're getting ready to move off of him. So it's Domas and it's Trae. And we have not really heard Scott Perry say anything as far as building around Domas. So it's just so funny to me that it is very clear where this thing is headed, and for some reason, nobody cares.
So here's where you could then go to the other point, which is, we know Domantas Sabonis wants to win, because you made the assumption at the beginning, Domantas Sabonis wants to win. Now let's work in a world where he wants to win in Sacramento, specifically. Like, obviously, that could be interpreted as, like, he'd rather just stay in Sacramento than win. Let's just frame it as he wants to win specifically in Sacramento. This summer is a very important summer for Domantas Sabonis' future because, and again, this is going to get a little nerdy, but I'm going to simplify it as much as I can. He's now been in the NBA for 10 years, which means he's now eligible to sign what is essentially a veteran max extension, which means that he can get paid up to 35% of the salary cap going forward. Mm-hmm. So this summer, assuming he doesn't make All-NBA, because I don't think he's going to play enough games or the Kings will be good enough to get there, he'll be eligible for a 3-year extension somewhere in the ballpark of $180 to $190 million over 3 years. Rough average, about $60 million a year. Domantas Sabonis could go to the Sacramento Kings and his representatives and say, hey, we want to be here long term. We want to sign the 3-year max extension. We'll be in Sacramento until we're 35. This is my last big payday. I would like to be a King for life, essentially. I mean, at the end of his career, he might go somewhere else on a minimum, like these, like Westbrook or DeRozan. But he's like, I want to spend the prime of my career in Sacramento. We will sign a 3-year extension. It doesn't even have to be the max. I just want a 3-year extension to stay in Sacramento. That's where the conversations kind of have to start between the Kings and Sabonis about like, hey, what is the plan long term? Do we want to extend Sabonis for 3 years and have him get paid like a number 1 or number 2 guy? Or do we say, actually, Sacramento, we're not interested? Or does Sabonis say, actually, we're not interested in signing the long-term extension? Those are conversations that I think will be very interesting this summer, because I think that's when we'll know exactly what direction this Sabonis situation is headed.
Yeah, I don't know why the Kings would give him that extension. Now, you do have to pay someone, okay? And Zach LaVine will be off the books. If the Kings sit there and say, hey, we know that we need at least a couple vets. If you want to play through the rebuild and things like that, cool. We'll let you do that. You've given enough to this organization. We'll let you do that. Then separately, I would be having the same conversation that I have about Devin Booker and about Dame, where I think, and it wouldn't just be me, it would turn into the NBA world saying Domas was trying to get cashed out, right? Then becomes a conversation of, is he being loyal, or how much does he care about winning? That would be a question, because there's no way at that point you would trust that you're going to, maybe you could get to the playoff. Like if you get AJ DeBansa and Keegan takes a leap, right? Cool. You might be able to have a cute little fun thing. And I'm only calling it cute for Domantas Sabonis' timeline. DeBansa and Keegan could turn into something years from now, but Domantas Sabonis would not really be in the picture or still in his prime. So then that would be the conversation of, does his brother just want to get paid and kick it in Napa, right? Which is his prerogative to do, but that would turn into the conversation. Then there's a conversation of, is that what, do the Kings want to allow him to do that? Or is Scott Perry saying, sorry, bro, we don't really want to do that. We are trying to cash in for your value and get something back for you.
Which again, at that point, which is why, again, since we've started doing this show and the whole De'Aaron thing was going on, I've made this point so clear. The summer of 2026 is when we will know what Domantas Sabonis' future is. That's the moment either for the Kings to say, actually, we're going to move off of you and try and get a big deal, or we're going to sign you to an extension because you want an extension. Or Sabonis might say, actually, I don't want to extend in Sacramento, which could force Sacramento's hand. Those conversations are going to have to start happening this summer because of the extension eligibility.
Let me know if I'm crazy here, but the whole foreseeable future thing, doesn't that kind of tell you that at the very least Domantas Sabonis wants to see if the Kings will give him that extension? Because if he didn't want to sign that extension, and I know we just had on Yossi Gozlin and Keith Smith, but if he didn't want to sign the extension in Sacramento, wouldn't he want to be traded now so then he could sign the extension somewhere else?
Ding, ding, ding. Exactly. Which is what De'Aaron Fox got the benefit of by getting traded in February, was that he could sign the extension in August. Now, the Spurs always had the intention of signing him, so it wouldn't have mattered when he got traded, but the benefit of getting traded in February is that the 6-month clock to acquire your bird rights ended in the summer, so then Fox could get the extension before the season ever started, which is, again, protection if you get hurt or something like that. But in Sabonis' situation, you want to get traded at least by the deadline of 27, so that way next team can sign you to the 35% extension that you would get either in Sacramento or with another team.
Right, but what I'm saying is him saying I'm chilling right now says he at the very least wants to see that does mean that he would like to stay in Sacramento at some level because he wants to see, will y'all sign me? Now, he could still get traded eventually off that extension, but I don't know if anybody's going to trade for him at $60 million.
Well, for 5 years is the other part. Like, if you're signing that extension, you're signing it with the intention of him being there through the unless you, like, Blake Griffin him like the Clippers did, where they gave him the extension and immediately traded him. But, again, you're signing it with good intentions of, by doing this deal, you will be the face of our franchise for the next 5 years.
Yeah, and my whole point to this is there's been no rhetoric like that from Scott Perry. Zero. There's been no rhetoric, right? He's come in and he's paid Keegan Murray, right? And they've done the, hey, Keegan's going to be our guy for a while. I don't know where Domantas Sabonis falls in the Kings' plans, and since I don't know, it feels like I do know. It feels like he ain't in their plans.
See, but what is the plan is the thing that still no one can articulate. What exactly they're doing is still unclear.
Well, they are not allowed to say a rebuild is like a curse word in the Kings organization. You can't say it, or you got to put a penny or a dollar in the curse jar. But that's what they're doing. And if you're rebuilding, you're probably not, he's not Udonis Haslem because he's making too much money. You're probably not going to hold on to a 29-year-old Domantas Sabonis. You could, but the problem is this. The difference, it's funny because De'Aaron just got cashed out. People think that De'Aaron, they thought at the time that De'Aaron was overpaid, but they're further along in their timeline. You can't sign Domantas Sabonis to an extension now when you don't even have your Wemby. You don't even have any of your draft picks that you think are. You got Wemby, you got a Rookie of the Year, and you got a Dylan Harper that people are really high on, and Carter Bryant can't even play. Carter Bryant, can you imagine if Carter Bryant was on the Kings? We would talk about him literally 3 hours of the day, and he don't even play on the Spurs.
Yeah, but I guess the counterpoint, though, if we ignore the Spurs example specifically, the Jazz made the call, even though they had multiple picks on the table for Markkanen, they made the call, we're better off just extending him because we can still rebuild and tank, quote unquote, with Lauri Markkanen. And while I think Sabonis is an excellent player and, I think this Kings won't be able to do better in the next 5 years if they trade him, they can also still tank with Domantas Sabonis. This year is proving that you can still rebuild and tank with Domantas Sabonis on the team.
You're right, but it's a little further. The Jazz, again, a little further along in the process. Marketing, I guess you could argue when they did it, they weren't as far along.
Yeah, Markkanen was an all-star the first year.
Yeah, I don't know.
There's no wrong answer here.
And here's the thing, though. When they did we all knew that they were going to stink. And by the way, Jazz fans are upset because they've been playing Nurkic and Kevin Love too much. I just read that yesterday. But we all knew they were going to stink, and we all knew they were in a position to get those draft picks. And the other part of it is a lot of people think that the Jazz made a mistake keeping Markkanen. That's the other thing we haven't talked about. A lot of people don't think it was the right move.
No, it's not a good contract right now, but the Jazz are not planning to tank for much longer. They have gone through the hard losing. Now, whether they have a superstar to go for it, debatable, but they have a bunch of young talent, and they think, or they believed the whole way Markkanen was the centerpiece of what they were doing, that any offers they were getting for Markkanen was not worth just keeping him around.
But again, it depends on how long things are going to take. Markkanen is 28 right now, and they have their picks. Domantas Sabonis is 29, and they have nothing besides Keegan Murray.
Yep.
And Nick Clifford, who we're going to Go ahead, Kyle.
Yeah, that's why there's no bad answers here, but it's all going to get resolved next summer once those extension talks start.
Speaking of Nick Clifford, let's talk about the young gun. Is it time to worry about him? I've fought you back and forth on this, and I think I'm swaying back the other way. Allen Stiles, Sactown Sports.
Stay up to date on Sacramento sports. Join the Sactown Sports 1140 newsletter. Visit SactownSports.com.
With Steel, batteries are included. This holiday season, give a gift that's ready to go right out of the box. For everything from cleaning up the yard to cutting up firewood, Steel tools check off the wish list and knock out the to-do list. And right now, buy select battery tool sets and get a free extra battery. Visit SteelUSA.com for holiday deals and gift ideas. Happy holidays from Steel. Offer valid for a limited time only at participating dealers while supplies last.
CVS Health supports people in the moments that matter, from picking up a prescription to connecting care. With nearly 5 million daily interactions and serving 185 million consumers and 1.5 million healthcare professionals, CVS Health holds a trusted place in healthcare. By simplifying care and improving health, we're helping people get the care they need. Learn more at cvshealth.com/Investor Day.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave. I got to tell you, I am so excited to get this decking project started with Trex Decking and Railings. From the first time I stepped foot in the showroom last week, I was so impressed. So many color options, heat-resistant composite deck. What does that mean? That means I don't have to do any maintenance on it whatsoever. They even have a deck designer, so you can go online and see what your dream deck will look like on your house. Just visit Trex, that's TREX.com to get it started. Tell them Carmichael Dave sent you.
Hey everyone, it's Kyle Draper here. If you're in the market for a new car, let me tell you about my experience with Mercedes-Benz of Stockton. From the moment I walked into their state-of-the-art showroom, I knew I was making the right choice. There was no pressure from the sales staff, and if I'm being honest, I felt like a kid in a candy store. I settled on the all-electric EQS SUV, and let me tell you why. First of all, the comfort. After a long day at work, I actually look forward to being in my car. It has several different massage settings, including my favorite, hot relaxing back. Plus, the seat heating and cooling features are perfect for the hot summer or those chilly mornings. Mercedes-Benz has the reputation of making the finest cars in the world. Now it's your turn to experience what I already know. Mercedes-Benz of Stockton is the best car buying experience you'll ever have. They're just a short drive down I-5, or you can shop online anytime at mbfstockton.com. That's mbfstockton.com, and tell them Drape sent you.
This is the story of the one. As an HVAC technician, he and his digital multimeter are in high demand. So when a noisy office HVAC turns out to be a failing blower motor, he doesn't break a sweat. With Grainger's easy-to-use website and product information, he selects the product he needs to keep everything humming right along. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Guys, if you're worn down, putting on weight, dealing with low T symptoms, or ED, something's off. Ignoring symptoms doesn't fix the real issue. For a limited time, Revive Men's Health Sacramento is offering free full diagnostic panels, a $400 value. It checks testosterone, blood sugar, cholesterol, kidney, liver, thyroid, and heart health. The key areas that reveal what's driving low T, ED, and more. Plus, qualified patients get up to 25% off select treatments now through year end. This gives you a clear answer on what's off and the steps to improve it. Over 120,000 patients have trusted Revive since 2011 because the results are real. Claim your free full diagnostic panel today. Call 916-619-3000. That's 916-619-3000. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Game night in Sacramento? Light up your night at Revival at the Sawyer. This rooftop hotspot is where the city comes alive. Elevated vibes, stylish crowd, and the perfect view of the Golden One Center. Celebrate the wins, escape the chaos, and be part of the scene before, during, and after every Kings game. Revival, the place to see and be seen. When the final buzzer sounds, the energy doesn't stop. It just moves upstairs. Join fellow fans, stay close to the action, and make every Kings night unforgettable. Book your game day reservation at revivalsacramento.com.
Allen Stiles. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sactown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sactown Sports app.
I'm seeing our guy Michael Scotto. He's on the Yes Network, and it says, reporting on Utah Jazz star Lauri Markkanen, including which NBA team executives have linked the most with past trade interest, why Utah wants to build with him, and what's next this summer for their cap space and the future of Walker Kessler. So, yeah, they're still reporting. I haven't got a chance to listen to it yet. But, yeah, they're still reporting and putting out there, we want to keep Lauri. That's what we're going to do. And I think they're to the point now, Kyle, going back to the Domantas Sabonis convo, they're just a little bit ahead, right? And by the way, your boy, Kyle, I was reading from some beat reporters and fans. Cody Williams still can't play. They won't let him play.
That's a miss.
And he was 9, right? He was picked 9. He was a 9th pick.
I think it was 11.
Yeah.
But it's same idea.
Yeah. So they got the...
By the way, just the big takeaway from the Scotto thing is just he's saying the Jazz want to start competing next year. This is the last year they hope to be in the lottery.
Okay, so Ace Bailey takes a leap. Walter Clayton Jr. takes a leap. They got Keyshawn George.
Yeah.
Or Keontae George.
Keontae George. Taylor Hendricks came back from that brutal injury he had.
The kid who just wants to shoot.
Cody?
No. The kid who just wants to shoot.
Filipowski?
No. Well, no, he's good too.
Yeah,
but you know who I'm talking about.
I don't know if I do.
Because he hooked up Schmal and Miles. All he does, I'm going to tell you right now.
Is it Isaiah Collier?
No, but the other one. Bryce Sensabaugh.
Oh, yeah.
Bryce Sensabaugh.
Yeah.
He's out here shooting. And that's what he does.
And they were hiding him on defense. That's right. It's like, what are you doing?
So that's the crew right there. And slow-mo Kyle Anderson. So
and Kevin Love.
Yeah, who he play for? Kyle Anderson.
Kevin Love had like 20 points, I think, in a game the other day.
So there you have it. The Jazz looking to turn this thing around, and we can talk about the Jazz. We're not doing the model thing yet because they don't have a model yet. But Cody Williams brings up a good point as he played 22 minutes in their last game, Kyle, and did have 11 points. He was a positive 15. Good for you, Cody. And, the Nick Clifford thing has been interesting because when you don't have a first-round pick, we were always going to be very excited with what we have in Nick Clifford. But it's been an interesting year for Nick Clifford. He's played 22 games, 4.1 points per game, 2.5 rebounds, 1.4 assists, 37.8 from the field, 27.5 from 3, 66% from the free throw. He's just not playing consistently, and he is a guy who's already, actually, Kyle, he's about to be 24. Did you know that? He's turned 24 in February.
Yeah.
He turns 24 in February. He's 23 now, and the level of worry, I've started to see them trickle in, Kyle. I saw somebody last week on the text line say, I don't know what Nick Clifford can do that Devin Carter can't do. I saw somebody else say Devin Carter isn't great at anything, which is funny because he was known as that Swiss Army knife and a guy who can do a bunch of different things. It's one thing to be a Swiss Army knife at 6'8", 6'9". Being a Swiss Army knife at 6'5", is a little bit different. So I have here something, Kyle, that should make people feel a little bit better. The history of 24th picks in the NBA draft.
Okay.
No, it'll make you feel a little better. Okay? So obviously in 2025, it was Nick Clifford. Okay, well, it does get better. Just hold on here. So in 2024, it was Keyshawn George.
Okay, he's killing it.
Yeah, Keyshawn George in 2024. 2023, your guy, Kyle, Olivier Maxence Prosper.
That's Chris Watkins' guy.
Okay. In 2022, Marjan Beauchamp.
He's still hanging around somewhere. He was on the Bucks for a bit.
It gets rough here, but just hang on, all right? 2021, Josh Christopher.
That's a basketball player?
2020, RJ Hampton.
Oh, he was supposed to be
supposed to be a guy.
Yeah, he did not. Let's see. Josh Christopher is on the Sioux Falls Skyforce, the Heat G League team.
But hold on, it gets better. 2019, Ty Jerome. What?
I thought you were going to say someone actually good.
Okay, hold on after this. 2018, Anthony Simons.
See, there you go. That's what I thought you were going to say when you said Ty Jerome.
2017, Tyler Lydon.
Oh yeah, he was on the Nuggets for a bit.
2016, Timothé Luwawu Carabo.
Luwawu Cabarro.
Timothé Charlemagne.
Luwawu, yeah, he was on the Sixers and the Cavs for a bit.
Okay, but hold on here. 2015, Tyus Jones. Yes.
That's a hit.
That's a hit.
Yeah, that's relatively speaking, that's a hit.
2014, Shabazz Napier, champion.
Shabazz Napier, who LeBron demanded the Heat take in order for him to stay in Miami and then didn't stay in Miami.
2013, here you go, Kyle. Tim Hardaway Jr.
Okay.
2012, Jared Cunningham. Another good one here coming up, Kyle. 2011, Reggie Jackson.
That's a great pick.
All right. And after that, 2008, Serge Ibaka. 2006, Kyle Lowry. And that's probably where we'll end it.
It seems like every other year you got a good one. It's about 50-50 shot.
So I guess I wanted to look this up and maybe cool off the expectations with Nick Clifford a little bit. I know we were all starving like Marvin, and when we saw that the Kings traded to get the 24th pick, we were very excited. But I don't know, Kyle. There are some hits here for sure, but the idea, isn't it kind of funny to think about the idea of what the Kings are, and they're not untouchable, but the idea of who the Kings were naming to be untouchable, according to Jake Fisher, and then Carmichael Dave kind of debunked it, was Keegan Murray and Nick Clifford. Isn't that a little bit, man, that's a little dry, right? A 24th overall pick. And Keegan, who's a good player, but you got guys out here in these streets where, I mean, Trey Murphy isn't viewed as untouchable. They would rather not deal him, and they have a crazy price tag. But the other names that are being thrown around as far as untouchable, and then you get to it's almost like the Kings just wanted to say, we have guys that we deem untouchable, but you look at around the league, Jalen Johnson. And we know Luka got traded, so nobody's untouchable, but you look at the Jalen Johnsons and others, and then you get to the Kings, and Keegan we can put separately because we don't know, but somebody in a Nick Clifford who's almost 24, he's 6'5". I don't know. I guess I'm not worried as much as I'm just not sure. And this is what I initially said. And fans did a good job of trying to convince me otherwise. I'm just not sure how high Nick Clifford's ceiling is.
Yeah, especially with the age conversation. Where I'm stuck on it is, given that you have such little young talent, and given that you have some draft picks, but not a lot of draft picks going forward, wouldn't it be beneficial to, when you clear out the logjam of guards, give Nick the opportunities that he's getting right now with Zach LaVine being out, where he started at the 2 and just see what it looks like, right? Him and Keegan as your 2 and your 3, see if that's a long-term wing pairing while you look for a point guard of the future. That doesn't mean he's played well enough to earn that. If you're going to go the rebuilding route, I think it's beneficial to see if you can prioritize his development. But in terms of the actual play on the court, yeah, I mean, Nick Clifford is a rotation player on a bad team, and maybe he hasn't been used perfectly, but it's certainly not like because of his draft positioning and his age and production, he is entitled to get the opportunities that like Cody Williams is getting on the Jazz right now.
Yeah, and this is from Doug Christie. He was kind of asked about Nick, and he said, absolutely. I mean, these are things he's going to have to go through, and to be honest, I just need to leave him out there sometimes and let him work through that, and that's on me. Sometimes we have to fight through it and understand that those are the learning lessons that he needs in those moments. He was asked about the struggles that Nick has been having, and trust isn't wavering, and we have to, as a team and organization, need to understand that, but no loss of confidence in him, love what he brings. He'll be right back out there doing his thing, just trying to keep it simple for him so that he continues not only to keep his confidence, but to build his confidence on a night-to-night basis. So, yeah, Doug has been asked about it, and these are the conversations that we're having where it's, all right, well, you just kind of you got to let him go, right? And we can see, but right now I do wonder, and this was my wonder initially, and I'll say this again. I think that draft was done in the same mindset of the Dennis Schroeder deal, sign and trade, signing, whatever you want to call it. It was, these are two guys that we think can help the team now. And now that they've decided that this team needs a lot more help than Nick Clifford and Dennis Schroeder and Russell Westbrook, where does everybody fit? I think Nick is obviously under control from a financial standpoint, so we're going to see what he does. I just am not necessarily sure what his ceiling actually is. All right, when we return, let's keep the conversation going. Lou Williams had something to say about DeMar DeRozan, and it's basically of the same ilk of he deserves to be put in a good situation. How much of that do you agree with? Down south, Sactown Sports.
If you love to travel, Capital One has a rewards credit card that's perfect for you. With the Capital One Venture X card, you earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy. Plus, you get premium benefits at a collection of luxury hotels when you book on Capital One Travel. And with Venture X, you get access to over 1,000 airport lounges worldwide. Open up a world of travel possibilities with the Capital One Venture X card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Lounge access is subject to change. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Tired of hearing scary radio ads about the IRS? Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000 or $500,000, we have a solution. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS with zero risk to you. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with a BBB. End your tax nightmare today by visiting TRA.com or call 800-275-1728. That's 800-275-1728.
Ready to order?
Yes. We're earning unlimited 3% cash back on dining and entertainment with a Capital One Saver card. So let's just get one of everything.
Everything?
Fire everything. The Capital One Saver card is at table 27, and they're earning unlimited 3% cash back.
Yes, Chef! This is so nice.
Had a feeling you'd want 3% cash back on dessert.
Ooh, tiramisu.
Earn unlimited 3% cash back on dining and entertainment with the Capital One Saver card. Capital One, what's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Quiet down. Here she comes.
Surprise! Your accountant just emailed to say your quarterly taxes are way higher than you were expecting.
At Progressive, we know small business owners don't usually like surprises because they cost you money. But a good surprise that could save you money? Getting discounts with a commercial auto quote from Progressive.
Also, your favorite employee is leaving. They're going to pursue their dream of being a veterinarian.
Surprise yourself. See if you can save in as little as 8 minutes at ProgressiveCommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Discounts not available in all states or situations.
I'm Craig Ashton of the injury law firm of Ashton & Price. The winter months bring joy, but also with more rain and snow, unfortunately, more accidents. Over the last quarter century, thousands of Northern California residents have looked to Ashton & Price to be their root op with a law license to guide them through the storm of an injury claim. As always, we wish you and your family the safest and happiest of holidays. But if you need us, at Ashton & Price, we're here for you. So whether you've been naughty or nice, happiest holidays from Ashton & Price.
Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton & Price.
Call Maverick Electrical to claim your free furnace tune-up or electrical safety check with a donation. This month, donate 5 canned foods to Maverick Electric's Holiday Food Drive and get a free furnace tune-up or electrical safety check. They'll collect your cans at the appointment and make sure your heat stays comfy and your lights stay steady, so the only thing whistling is the kettle, not your ductwork. Visit callamaverick.com to schedule your free tune-up today.
What will a Maverick do? 'Cause you're a Maverick too.
Give to get with no gimmicks. Limited appointments. Some restrictions apply.
I'm with Vince Bloom, the big deal guy at Folsom Lake Dodge.
Vince!
Actually, this time of year, you can call me the Holiday Big Deal Guy.
The Holiday Big Deal Guy!
Because during the wrap-up-the-year sales event at Folsom Lake Dodge, you can save over $18,000 net savings off MSRP on a new 2025 Ram 1500 Bighorn Crew Cab 4x4.
I'll take it.
And for a stocking stuffer,
keys to a Jeep,
a new 2025 Jeep Wrangler 4-door Sport S. Right now, I've got one for only $36,995.
That's why they call you
the Big Deal Guy!
So over $18,000 off a Ram 1500 Bighorn Crew Cab.
And a Jeep Wrangler Sport for only $36,995. But you'll only find these big holiday deals at one place.
That's right, only one place.
At Folsom Lake Dodge!
In the Folsom Auto Mall?
But online at FolsomLakeDodge.com.
Ram includes 9873 dealer discount plus 8207 in national stackable and holiday bonus cash. Then SN 667196. Cheap includes 4250 dealer discount plus 12750 in bonus national retail loyalty and holiday cash. Must be current owner of SCA vehicle to qualify for loyalty bonus cash. Then SW 543907. See dealer details, expires 1/2/26.
The Travel Guys, new on KHTK 1140 every Saturday at 11 a.m.
We'll make you a smarter traveler. Tips you can use on the road and at the airport, plus reports from top consumer advocates.
The Travel Guys, 11 a.m. on Sactown Sports 1140.
Allen Stiles
You can join the show by texting 916-339-1140
on Sactown Sports.
Taking you up to 2 p.m. 12 o'clock, we have our trade guide. Who's available, who's not available. So we have that for you. We also have that note that we wanted to bring up from Jake Fisher and his report about the Raptors being interested in Domantas Sabonis. So that's coming up at 12. Your guide to the trade season, the trade deadline, and everything that comes with it. Of course, nothing has happened yet because we would have told you. And if it was for the Kings, we would be, I don't want to say happy, but I'd be happy with any movement. It's not about any player. It's not about anything other than it's not about anything other than just wanting this iteration to be over, and this iteration has run its course. And Lou Williams believes that DeMar DeRozan's time has run its course in Sacramento. Senor Segway strikes again.
2-star.
No, that's a 4. And
a 4?
Yeah, it's a 3.5. And this is him on, that famous show from FanDuel, the Run It Back podcast.
That FanDuel show.
Yeah. Talking about the Kings needing to do right by DeMar DeRozan. Here it is.
You know what? Honestly, for me, like when I was in Toronto, I thought my career was over, right? And when I got there, Kyle Lowry, Amir Johnson, Chuck Hayes, James Johnson, DeMar DeRozan, like all of them guys rallied around me, and they extended my career another 7 to 8 years just by them being supportive. So when I look at this, it's hard for me not to look at DeMar DeRozan's situation and not take it personally. I want him to be moved because I want him to be happy, especially at the tail end of your career. I want him to have a realistic opportunity to win and just go out and be at peace with his career and having that opportunity. So when I look at this, it's hard for me to be an analyst and look at these things. I'm looking at this as a friend. I want my friend to be moved. I want him to be with a contender, and I want to see him go out of the door with a smile on it.
Yeah, and that's great stuff from Lou Williams. Always like it when a former player can open up and, give us a little bit of insight into how things were for them. But I don't think that there's going to be any issue here. Scott Perry has been around for a very long time, and he'll tell you that himself. Scott Perry knows the game, and the game is the game. And I don't see a world where Scott Perry is going to make this thing ugly. I just don't think it's going to be an issue. I think that they are trying to find a suitor. I think that they kind of look at DeMar DeRozan as a sunk cost. And as we've mentioned before, the main thing now is they don't want to give up anything. They don't want to give up any draft capital. And if they're going to give up a Keon Ellis in a sweetener type of situation, then, yeah, they want to get back a second rounder or a couple second rounders or a young player, something like that. I think right now the main goal is to not have to give up any draft capital to move off of DeMar. And if you're going to move off of him and add in a Keon Ellis, then you hope to get something back that you feel like you'd be able to use. But with that, the $10 million that he's owed next season, that'll probably, and obviously the other 14 that he will get once he hits January, he's not looking at a buyout conversation, at least not right now. That's what we were talking about with Yossi Gozlin of the Third Apron. So I think it's just a waiting period. But yeah, I'm not really too worried about it. I think Scott Perry knows how important it is to make the Kings start to look better in the NBA community and the NBA circle. So yeah, I don't have too much of a question that Scott Perry will do what he can do to make sure that DeMar DeRozan gets somewhere where he'll at least have a look, right? I'm not saying that it'll be perfect or he'll get to the Thunder or be able to play in the finals. Don't get me wrong. But yeah, I mean, the Raptors, they're kind of spiraling a bit. I know when we spoke with some Raptors media members in the summer, they said that there wasn't a level of interest there. I think they'd probably more so be interested in a Malik Monk, and, we're going to talk about them and Domantas Sabonis. But you get him on one of these Eastern Conference teams where it's wide open, specifically this season with the Pacers missing the playoffs. So there's a spot there. I think Scott Perry is going to do everything he can to have this be an amicable ending. I'm just not really worried about it.
Yeah, I mean, doing right by franchise legends is important for any team. Now, DeMar DeRozan isn't that, so that's why
NBA legend, I guess.
Yeah, NBA legend is the right way to go. I think the easy way to phrase it is you don't want to be the Clippers with Chris Paul. You don't want to
No.
You don't want to be in that situation on the way out. It's actually funny that you've brought this up now, because yesterday you were talking about how on a podcast years from now, we'll hear all the stuff about Keon Ellis and whatever happened.
Yeah.
And I've been joking for months now, really going back to last year. I can't wait to hear the DeMar DeRozan podcast in 4 years talking about his time with the Kings. Because, one, he's notoriously open about his experiences, and B, he's been through some you-know-what here in Sacramento the last 2 years.
Yeah, and I think people forget that, and myself included, right? This is, we've been talking about De'Aaron Fox and Mike Brown. When DeMar DeRozan did the sign-and trade, they were here. They were here. And you saw him doing the kind of whisper athlete talking after they played the Spurs not too long ago. I could only imagine what he was saying, but they were here. This is not the team that he signed up for. I know it was a sign and trade, and I know the Kings gave him a little bit more money than he thought he could get elsewhere on the market, but he also thought he was signing up to fill on in, and they really didn't give it a shot. Right?
No.
It's not as if they went through a year and they tricked off a bad year and they say, hey, DeMar, we gave it a year. It didn't work out. We all knew that was a possibility. They gave him 30 games. DeMar is looking around saying, oh, wait, hold on. I haven't even – Kyle, if you look, there are bags. When I went to Chicago, I take a while to unpack. DeMar DeRozan could have easily had a bag still unpacked from Chicago by the time the Kings blew everything up. Sometimes I'll take a trip, and if it's a small bag, it ends up in my closet. It'll sit there for about 3 months. I'll take out the dirty clothes, but if they're clothes I didn't clean yet, there could have been a bag in DeMar DeRozan's condo, apartment, house in Sacramento that he had not unpacked from Chicago by the time the Kings blew it up. That's insane. There's somebody out there right now that 3-4 months, you got a bag sitting from a trip you took, okay? And it's still sitting there. DeMar hadn't unpacked his bags yet, Kyle, and they blew the thing up.
Yeah, they completely blew it up. By the way, remember, DeMar at Media Day this year wanted to make it very clear last year was a bleep show.
Yeah.
Said it multiple times. Before all of this happened, I couldn't wait to hear the stories that DeMar would tell on a podcast 3 years from now about what the heck happened during that 2025 season. This year is arguably worse. Like, the team is just completely out of it. Everyone's infighting with each other. We heard Chris Biederman talk about, like, his mentals. He's really struggling with everything going on this season.
He was doing better. He was doing better. Last season was a bleep show, like he said.
Yes.
Was doing better, was looking forward to this season legitimately. And then I don't really know what happened. I mean, besides Keegan not being healthy, it just didn't go well. Yeah, it hasn't gone well, and he's been the one who's, it feels like, been ironically the most consistent. Yeah.
Like, even if it's something you don't need to, in terms of, like, he's putting up buckets on a team that can't defend. So, like, what good are the buckets when your offensive rating stinks and you can't defend? So it's like, it feels like what he's giving isn't contributing to winning basketball, but he's been the most consistent on the team so far, and yet it feels like he's doing all the right things. He's trying to be polite, and he even went so far as to say, I'm giving to Keegan. It's Keegan's team. I'm here to help him. And it just seems like he still has no trade market. Like, he's doing all the right things, and yet no one still is there jumping to trade for him.
Yeah, and when it comes to doing right by him, I think that's where the line is. You want to do right by him, but I cannot give up trade capital. If I don't think Scott Perry is tripping off of getting value back for DeMar DeRozan, okay? I don't think he is looking at DeMar DeRozan, oh, no, I saw somebody, I won't out them, but I saw somebody on Kings Twitter, if you will, say, yeah, I agree. They basically quote tweeted what Lou Williams said, and they said, yeah, I agree with Lou Williams, but we need a late first rounder for DeMar. Brother, let me tell you something about the market, all right? You are not getting anybody's late first rounder for DeMar DeRozan unless there is an injury or something, but that is not the trade market. Right now, the conversation is not having to give up anything to move off of DeMar DeRozan, and I think that's where this thing ends. You can want to do right by someone, but Scott Perry is saying, I want to do right by you, but I can't give stuff up. I will do a deal where we're taking a flyer on, an expiring contract and a flyer on Jarris Grant or somebody like that, or Jarris Walker, but I combined Horace Grant and Jarris Walker.
Oh, I thought you were doing Jeremy Grant and Jarris Walker.
And him too. But I cannot give up trade capital for you, at least not right now. But we're going to do right by you when we can. On the other side, your guide to the trade season. Who is available, who is not, and who is that team in the Eastern Conference interested in who? Domantas Sabonis, how's the wine up there? Allen Stiles, Sactown Sports.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Just announced, Stockton Honda has been named #1 of California's best car dealers in 2025 by USA Today and Statista. This prestigious award is based on thousands of customer reviews and recommendations, ranking dealerships for service, value, and satisfaction. Out of hundreds evaluated, Stockton Honda is proud to be #1, recognized for all-around excellence and commitment to our customers. Visit Stockton Honda, where reputation meets the road.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave. I got to tell you, I am so excited to get this decking project started with Trex Decking and Railings. From the first time I stepped foot in the showroom last week, I was so impressed. So many color options, heat-resistant composite deck. What does that mean? That means I don't have to do any maintenance on it whatsoever. They even have a deck designer, so you can go online and see what your dream deck will look like on your house. Just visit Trex, that's Trex.com to get it started. Tell them Carmichael Dave sent you.
Thunder, feel the thunder.
It's the energy all around you.
Lightning and the thunder.
The thrill of the moments to come. The flash of lights. The rush of pure exhilaration. The roar of the crowd. See it, hear it, feel it.
Feel the thunder. Lightning and the thunder.
Thunder Valley Casino Resort. Feel the thunder.
What's up? We're talking to Chad Hoblet of Hoblet Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Woodland. What's happening for Hoblet's Wrap the Year Up sales event?
This time of year is all about hauling the family around, and there's no better way to do it than in a brand new 2025 Jeep Grand Cherokee. It's one of America's favorite SUVs for a reason, and right now you can save up to $10,500 off MSRP and no payments for 90 days. That means no payments until March of next year.
Oh yeah, that's the one with all that extra space. Even more important this time of year.
They really are a treat to drive, and everyone I know who's driven a Jeep Grand Cherokee has loved it. Don't miss your chance to get one and save at Hoblet.
Search, select, and save through their whole inventory at HobletDodge.com. Unbeatable prices, unbeatable selection. Nobody beats Hoblet, period.
$10,500 total net savings on select new 2025 Jeep Grand Cherokee L Limited after $5,000 factory rebates and $5,500 dealer discount. Rebates include $2,000 SFS bonus cash. Must finance through Stellantis. $500 first responder bonus cash for eligible first responders. 3 this net savings. Sample VIN 746799. See dealer for details.
KHD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
This is Sactown Sports 1140. live and local.
It's Allen Stiles
on Sactown Sports.
I was just sending Kyle something else from Michael Scotto. He was going over the Trae Young future as well as Kristaps Porzingis. So we will have all those updates for you once we get a chance to kind of listen through, whether that's today or tomorrow. Obviously, we're going to get Michael Scotto back on the show at some point as this thing gets on a rolling, because we have hit December 15th and there are a bunch of players available. Not everybody, but a bunch of players available. We'll talk a little bit more. I had this from the 916 as far as Nick Clifford is concerned. We were talking about Nick Clifford and what we've seen. And the 916 says, I think I had a little higher expectations for him, given he's a 4-year college player. I was assuming he would be more physically ready, and he's not. I feel like I agree with the 916. I understand there's a log jam, but I do feel like there have been opportunities for Nick to force his way on into the lineup. I get it. There's a log jam, but Keegan didn't play for a ton of games, and Nick did get opportunities. I get it. He was just getting his feet wet in the NBA. But, yeah, I feel like if you're going to draft somebody who's about to turn 24 in February, it would have been nice for him to be a little bit further along. I'm not saying that he's not going to get there, but maybe you would have hoped that he was a little bit further along, even though you are going from the college ranks to the NBA. Not a ton of opportunities, but you also felt like when you draft somebody like that, maybe he takes the bull by the horns a little bit, and he hasn't really leapfrogged anybody. He's been given opportunities to leapfrog, but I don't know that he's actually leapfrogged anybody.
No, I think he leapfrogged Keon.
Did he earn that?
It's a great question.
You know what I mean? I don't know that he earned the leapfrog. I think they just prioritized. There's leapfrogging, and then there's prioritizing. Did Doug Christie leapfrog the other coaches with the Kings? Was he prioritized over the other coaches with the Kings?
Yeah,
I think it's the same idea. It's who the organization likes more.
I don't know, because like we said last year, the core of the team, 4 of your 6 core players were wings. It was DeRozan, Levine, Malik Monk, and Keon Ellis, and we thought they would break up the logjam, and instead they added to it by bringing in Nick Clifford. But we still look at those 4, and apart from Keon, they're guys making $49, $18, and $25 million, which whether they are worth those contracts or not, which I don't
think I make too much money. I think I get paid more.
Whether they're worth the contracts or not, they earn those contracts by being very good NBA players. Yeah. And so these are very good NBA players that Nick Clifford is attempting to quote-unquote leapfrog.
That's fair. And there's cachet. We get all that. The last thing I'll say before we get into this December 15th trade guide, am I tripping, Kyle, or Nick is a 2, right? I mean, I know he's played 3. He ain't really when you look at him, he doesn't look small, but again, he's about to be 24. He looks like a 2, a 1 or a 2. He does not comfortably look like a 3 to me.
I think it's a 3 depending on who your 2 is.
Yeah.
Right? If you got Anthony Edwards, yeah, he can be a 3. But if you got Zach LaVine, and let's say Zach LaVine were not on the team, if you got Keegan at the 3, then yeah, Nick's probably a 2.
Yeah.
And honestly, I think in the long run, because you have Keegan under contract for 5.5 years now, and I think Keegan should be a 3, unless Nick is going to be Keegan's backup, then I kind of think Nick is best suited long-term as a starting 2 or a backup 2 or a backup 3, which again, it's all about who you're guarding on defense.
By the way, Kyle, I was going to say, kind of reminds me a little bit of Colby Jones. You want to hear something funny? You know what I'm going to say. Colby Jones, 6'6". Kyle, Colby Jones turns 24 in May.
You're saying he's younger than
Yes, he is.
Neat Clifford?
He is younger than Neat Clifford.
Man, that is...
I just wanted to say that.
That is kind of unbelievable.
He was drafted in 2023.
Yeah, I remember. He was 36th. Because he was their top pick that year. So I remember everyone was like, Colby Jones and Jalen Slauson are going to be the big additions to the Beam team. And
yeah.
That didn't work out.
All right, let's get to this trade guide and who is available. Some of the names. This is the NBA trade candidates, who can get traded on December 15th, who has to wait, and who can't be moved at all. This is from Sam Quinn of CBS Sports. NBA trade season unofficially opened yesterday when a large list of players become eligible to be moved. We've heard quite a bit of chatter so far this young NBA season. Anthony Davis, Ja Morant, LaMelo Ball, Giannis Antetokounmpo, yet we've seen no real action on these fronts. The rules essentially made an early season blockbuster impossible. A huge chunk of NBA players are not currently tradable, which makes matching salaries in a blockbuster trade enormously difficult for most of the league. But that changed yesterday because on the 15th, the overwhelming majority of 2025 free agent signings became trade eligible. This year, that means a total of 77 players, or about 17. And I've seen different numbers. I've seen 82. I've seen 77. It doesn't really matter. Or about 17% of the 450 roster spots around the league can technically hit the market yesterday. So below, we'll not only cover those players, but any others with different trade restrictions. So here are the bigger names that became available yesterday. James Harden, Kyrie Irving, Julius Randle, Miles Turner, Fred VanVleet, Kyle's boy Duncan Robinson, Nickeil Alexander-Walker, Kyle's other boy, Karis LeVert.
Why is Karis LeVert my guy?
Lillard, Dennis Schroeder, Bobby Portis, Dorian Finney-Smith, Luke Kennard, Brooke Lopez, Luke Cornett, Ty Jerome, DeAndre Ayton, my boy Trey Jones, my boy Kevon Looney, Clint Capella, Day'Ron Sharpe, Zaire Williams, everybody's boys, Jake LaRavia, nobody's boy, Cam Thomas.
Nobody's even Brooklyn wants.
Nobody's boy, D'Angelo Russell, Nick Batum, my future king, Gershon Yabusele, Bradley Beal, Marcus Smart, Kevin Porter Jr., Mo Wagner, Gary Trent Jr., Gary Harris, Jackson Hayes, Taurean Prince.
A lot of Bucks on here.
AJ Mitchell, my boy, Cam Spencer, Kyle's boy, Lacrosse's boy, Luka Garza, Jericho Sims, Chris Boucher, my boy, Larry Nance Jr., Javonte Green, Thanasis Antetokounmpo.
Yeah, why are there so many Bucks on this
Giannis's
list?
boy, Cole Anthony, another Buck.
Why are there? Is the entire Bucks roster on this list?
They did it on purpose. Amir Coffey, Jordan Clarkson.
That's another Buck.
Landry Shamet, Eric Gordon, Marvin Bagley, Dante Exum, Bruce Brown, Tim Hardaway Jr., Jeff Green, Aaron Holiday, Josh Okogie, Jayshawn Tate, Chris Paul, Jock Landale, the Kings boy, Bones Highland, Kyle Lowry, Joe Ingles, my boy, not Malik Monk's boy because he broke him down, Colin Gillespie, Drew Eubanks, Kyle's boy, Doug McDermott, everyone's boy.
It's my 8th year in the league. Like, at some point, you got to just take the shot.
Bismack Biyombo. My boy, who I talked to once and then he was sent on a plane, Jordan McLaughlin, Lindy Waters, who was going to save the Warriors at one point, and Nigel Hayes Davis.
You said one name in there that I had just completely forgotten was still around, and I have no idea what he's doing.
Who?
Not Landale.
Okay.
Kevon Looney, what are you doing?
I don't know.
Why are you in New Orleans?
Know.
DeAndre Jordan is also on New Orleans. What are the? Yeah. Why are you there, Kevon Looney?
And it's so funny because we knew it was going to end in Golden State for Kevon Looney. It's a much smaller scale, but it's kind of like when they started Geno Smith. It's not the same, but when they started Geno Smith for Eli, we knew it had to end, but Looney, it didn't have to end like this.
He's playing less minutes and scoring more points than any season with the Warriors.
And if you're wondering, maybe he's from New Orleans, he's not. He's from Milwaukee, so I don't know what he's doing down there.
They're paying him like not an insignificant amount of money either.
He's hanging out with Jordan Poole, and they're making fun of Draymond. That's what they're doing.
I'm just so confused. Why did you sign that deal? Why is DeAndre Jordan also on the Pelicans when Derek Queen is the one who plays all the minutes? What is Yves Missi doing? He was awesome last year.
Yeah.
Where did he go?
I don't know. I mean, he's a trade chip too. So
I'll take him on Sacramento. He can block shots.
So those are the main names, Kyle. Also, who has to wait until January 15th? Most free agents can be traded on December 15th. However, a small group has to wait an extra month. Those are the free agents who re-signed with their original team using bird or early bird rights, make more than the minimum, and who got a raise greater than 20% over their salary from last season. That list includes 11 players: Josh Giddey, Jonathan Kuminga, Naz Reid, Santi Aldama, Davion Mitchell, Quentin Grimes, Sam Merrill, Trey Mann, Isaiah Jackson, Paul Reed, and last but not least, Ryan Rollins. That's a group right there.
That is a group of players. That's
nice right there.
A team of just those players could
cooking.
probably beat the Kings.
Oh, literally. Giddey at point, Kuminga at the 3, Naz Reid at the 4, or Naz Reid as the center. Davion is in there. Quentin Grimes. Oh, my goodness. Ryan Rollins. Oh, they don't have a chance.
That's crazy.
The line would be about 14.5.
No. For a starting five of Giddey, Davion, Ryan Rollins, Kuminga, and Naz Reid.
Santi Aldama be killing the Kings. Don't forget.
And Santi Aldama coming off the bench.
Yes. Come on now. So that's a group. And here's a smaller group, Kyle, who has other trade date restrictions. There are 9 players who cannot be traded until a day besides December 15th or January 15th. Those players sign veteran extensions during the offseason with specific parameters. They cover at least 4 total seasons. They come with a first-year raise greater than 20%, and they include either a salary increase or a decrease greater than 5% at any point in the extension. When a player signs such a contract, he cannot be traded for 6 months. Below are the players in question in order of their trade eligibility date. So Steven Adams, December 14th. Jalen Williams, and this is the other Jalen Williams.
The bad one.
The one from Arkansas who is a meme but makes threes against the Kings. December 19th. Jakob Poeltl, January 7th. Devin Booker, Kyle's boy, January 10th. Jaren Jackson Jr., somebody's boy, January 13th. Everybody's boy who won't get moved, Herb Jones, January 14th. Mikal Bridges, February 1st. Luka, February 2nd. And last but not least, it always comes back to you, De'Aaron Fox, February 4th. You never know. We do know. But this season we know.
The day before the deadline.
Oh, my goodness. There's a sick Kings fan out there. That's what they want. Not me. Not me.
They have nothing to offer.
No, not to go back to the Kings.
Oh, okay.
I'm just saying.
Just to not be on the Spurs.
Not to have a perfect situation like he has right now.
Got it.
But he will. They're going to see where this thing goes. I mean, they just beat the Thunder. They could win the whole thing. The Spurs could win the whole thing. So that's the reality of the situation. Additionally, the 3 free agents that Golden State signed this offseason, along with their lone draft pick, are in a somewhat unusual position. The Warriors had to wait until the Kuminga situation settled before signing any other players, so as to avoid putting themselves in a position in which someone made him an offer sheet they could not legally match. Therefore, their free agents didn't sign until right before training camp, and technically, free agents cannot be traded until either December 15th or 3 months have passed, whichever comes later. That means that Al Horford, DeAnthony Melton cannot be traded until January 1st, 3 months after they signed on October 1st. GP2 and Will Richard can be traded December 19th. Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Kuminga, for that.
Yeah. There you go. And the last one, these are players that can't be traded at all this season. There are 4 players who signed some sort of extension restriction. those in our last group, except they ultimately signed those deals after August 5th, meaning their 6-month trade restriction will take them beyond 2026 trade deadline. Those players are Tumani Kamara, A.J. Green, P.J. Washington, and Aaron Nesmith. Feel like he's forgetting Keegan, right?
No, those are just specifically the extensions. I think they're not putting the rookie scale guys in there.
I see. Additionally, players who sign designated vet extensions or supermax cannot be traded for 1 calendar year after they sign. There's only one such player, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. So I don't think that, oh, man, we can't move Shai. So there you have it.
What? They can't? Oh, that's ruining the Thunder's plan.
And then, you have it, Kyle. Are there any other notable trade eligibility tidbits? And that's where a total of 9 rookies signed an extension. So here they are in order of where they were drafted, and Keegan is on that list. So, he can't be moved either. So there you go. That's a quick breakdown. Great stuff.
Quick is what we're calling it.
Yeah, from Sam Quinn. And, the reality is, Kyle, there are a lot of different ways that the Kings can go about this. I did want to bring this up from Jake Fisher that we've been teasing. The Toronto Raptors are showing interest in one, Domantas Sabonis, and Anthony Davis, 2 players that used to battle each other in high-stake games now are both on the way out. I added that, of course.
Anthony Davis could never beat Sabonis.
Yeah, and then they never split, right? Sabonis swept 2 years ago, and then the Lakers and Anthony Davis swept.
Well, but then Anthony Davis got traded to the Mavericks, who then beat them again in the play-in.
And kept the sweep going. The business Toronto is ultimately willing to conduct before the February trade buzzer will likely come down to how good the 16-11 Raptors still are as that deadline draws closer. Toronto, though, has sent out some early signals that it hopes to upgrade its front court. Sources with knowledge of the Raptors' thinking have identified them as a team with interest in Domantas Sabonis as well as Davis. Okay, we can just do it. Who would you rather have right now, Domantas Sabonis or Anthony Davis? Right now, if you're the Raptors, because I don't necessarily know who the I guess better value would be, or should I say worse value? I don't know who's going to cost more in a trade to get them. Just so you know, Kyle, Domantas Sabonis this season $42.3 million, next season $45.4 million, next season $48.6 million. Anthony Davis is in a similar situation.
Yeah, you just saw those numbers.
$54.1 million, $58.4 million, and a player option, folks. Hold on. $62.7 million. I got to go to Sabonis. This is an easy one for me, Kyle. Now, Sabonis is going to cost you more if you are the Raptors, as far as I think you would get a better deal if you are the Kings, right? You would get more back for Sabonis than I think the Mavs would get for Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis at his height is a better player than Domantas Sabonis, but you got to deal with injuries. He's already 32. Domantas Sabonis is 29. There are 3 years left on both their deals, but that player option, gee willikers.
Well, I think the difference is the Raptors are going to get, or I'm sorry, the Mavericks are going to get less in terms of, I'm sorry, the Raptors are good. What am I trying to say? The Raptors would have to give up less draft compensation
for Anthony Davis,
but more current talent because they have to match the salaries. So it'd probably be RJ Barrett, Jakob Poeltl, which by the way would be the Kings offer, would be RJ Barrett, Jakob Poeltl, and Colin Murray-Boyles. But then the Raptors would still have to throw in 1 or 2 more players just to get to the salary number that Anthony Davis is at.
You know what I was looking up? I know he's not making a ton of money yet, but Grady Dick kind of don't play. I was looking that up because I know you had said when we were doing the Malik Monk conversation, Grady Dick does not really play. I don't know if they're and I think he's at 22 games this season. So he's played 27 games, 6.4 points per game, 1.9 rebound. He's playing 15 minutes a game. That's busty.
That's what?
We're looking kind of busty right now there, Grady.
Got to be careful when you say that.
15.7 minutes per game.
Well,
so I need, I'm not going to say his last name. I need Grady.
Well,
I need Grady.
Good news for you, Alan. Grady Dick is born in November of 2003, which makes him 18 months younger than Neek Clifford.
All right, we got to stop.
He's still time, though. Grady Dick's got 2 full seasons to get to where Neek Clifford is right now.
And I mean, think about it, though. He's just not really, I think the Raptors, the Brandon Ingram thing confused me personally. He strikes me as a guy where he's just not a taller Cam Thomas, because Cam Thomas shoots threes. He's almost a version. He is a DeMar DeRozan disciple or variant. I'm just not really sure what the Raptors were thinking there, bringing Brandon Ingram in, and he threw that water bottle and he hit the worker in the face. And, what are we doing, Brandon Ingram? Because you just got in the way of Grady Dick, and they got a couple different players, like you said, Kyle. I need Grady. I need GD.
Yeah, now that you've brought this to my attention, I am curious, like, who's been playing instead of Grady Dick? Like, I see
anybody. Anybody.
No, I mean, it looks like Jacoby Walter, who I wanted in that Devin Carter draft. It looks like Jacoby Walter is getting more run than Grady Dick, even though he's not scoring as much. I'm guessing he's doing other stuff other than scoring that they like, but since RJ Barrett's been out, it looks like they're starting Jacoby Walter. So again, maybe they just got so many of those guys that, because Jacoby Walter is 21, which makes him 2.5 years younger than Neek Clifford.
Yes.
Maybe Jacoby Walter is the new Grady Dick, and they're prioritizing his development because he shows more upside than Dick.
Both shooting guards. He's 2 years younger than Grady. So if he's getting more time already, and they took him in 2024, I think they're saying something went wrong or something has plateaued with Grady's development. I think Grady would definitely be on the chopping block if that were to come down to it, Kyle. So are you going to cook up something? I know Colin Murray, and he's only 20. I need both.
Yeah.
You don't have to give up picks, honestly. Don't give it. Keep your picks.
Oh, no, hold on. If the Fox trade has taught us anything, we got to get some kind of picks.
But I'm saying if you got, they might say, well, Colin Murray Boyles, that is a pick. They might say that. If we did Colin, Grady, RJ, and a protected first, let's do it right now.
Let's see. The Kings would have to trade.
I know they need more money.
Yeah, Kings would have to trade somebody else. Let's see. Let's give him Malik Monk just for the sake of the conversation.
Okay.
So let's see. Would this one work? Not quite. Man, this is actually more complicated than I thought.
No, it's fine.
But
we get the idea. You throw. There's a filler. There's always a filler.
We got $8 million somewhere here. Oh, we really don't. Let me try Murray Boyles and see.
Yeah, there's always a filler somewhere.
Yeah, it's.
Well, no, but you'd be doing Jakob Poeltl too.
Yeah, but Jakob Poeltl and RJ Barrett by themselves, I think, works. Yeah, Jakob Poeltl and RJ Barrett by themselves works, but if I toss in,
just give us one of them.
Grady, then it gets a little more complicated. Let's see.
Just give us one of them. So that is the current situation with the Raptors. But again, there's interest, but the Raptors, they have to continue to compete. Right? If they fall off, then they're not going to buy into what they're doing. They're just going to accumulate another pick or something like that. What's up, Kyle?
Okay, I got it. If no Murray Boyles, we can do Sabonis and Dario Saric for RJ Barrett, Jakob Poeltl, and Grady Dick and draft picks. I would not do that if I were the Kings, but it is...
Say it again?
I would not do that if I was the Kings.
Say the trade again?
It was Domantas Sabonis and Dario Saric for RJ Barrett, Jakob Poeltl, Grady Dick, and future draft picks. I mean, again, how many future draft picks is the question.
Yeah, and the Grady thing, that's what's so funny, right? Once you drive it off the lot, because now I'm saying, okay, well, if Grady's got leapfrogged already, then give us Colin Murray Boyles.
Yeah,
right?
but the other part is this is just one move where I get you're not trying to compete now, but then you would have a team, which they can make other moves, of RJ Barrett, Zach LaVine, DeMar DeRozan, Malik Monk, Keon Ellis, Neek Clifford, Grady Dick, and Devin Carter still on the team. So you've got a literal 9-guard rotation, which doesn't allow for Keegan Murray to be. The reason I want Murray Boyles is I think Murray Boyles is a future power forward.
Yeah. No, and I would take him. Sorry, Grady. You're stuck. Figure it out, man. On the other side, Mark Stein had some things to say on Giannis, and how does that fit into what the rest of the league is trying to do? Allen Stiles, Sactown Sports.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime.
Our entry-level data plans start at just $20 a month. And for a limited time, switch and get your second month free. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com or a store near you and get your second month free today. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional details.
So you need last-minute gifts. No judgment. Get an extra 25% off during Kohl's Friends and Family Sale and find great gifts under $20. Like something cozy, something thoughtful, something that says you planned this all along. Yep, you're just one quick trip away from checking off the last gifts on your list. Save now at Kohl's and Kohl's.com. Select styles. Offer ends December 24th. Some exclusions apply. See store or Kohl's.com for details.
Who has the largest selection of golf merchandise in Northern California? The Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. It's the go-to store for golf bags, apparel, equipment, lessons, club fittings, novelty items, and more. With their low price guarantee, complimentary gift boxes, and gift cards for your golfer, it's the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Add convenient online shopping and effortless after-Christmas return policy, and you'll see why the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop is the #1 choice for golfers everywhere. Fulton Avenue at the Cap City Freeway or online at hagenoaks.com.
This is the story of the one. As the purchasing manager at a manufacturing plant, she knows the only thing more important than having the right safety gear is having it there when you need it. That's why she partners with Grainger for auto reordering, so her team members can count on her to have cut-resistant gloves on hand, and each shift can run safely and efficiently. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Carmichael Dave here for American Energy Heating and Air. They're now upgrading what they do to include plumbing. They're bringing that same expertise and experience to the plumbing space. So they're no longer just heat and air. They're now your American Energy home pros. You hear me talk about them all the time as your second opinion partner. Now you can still get second opinions on any HVAC service or replacement. And now you can get a second opinion on any of your plumbing services. They'll come out to your house for free and give you that second opinion. And right now, they got a free furnace special with a full system installation up to $2,500 in rebates. All for a company that's been serving the greater Sacramento area since 1981. A+ Better Business Bureau. 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com. Jingle singers, take it away.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
Guys, leave weight gain, low T, and ED in 2025. For a limited time, Revive Men's Health Sacramento is offering free full diagnostic panels, a $400 value. It checks testosterone, blood sugar, cholesterol, kidney, liver, thyroid, and heart health. Plus, qualified patients get up to 25% off select treatments now through year end. Call 916-619-3000. That's 916-619-3000. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Allen Stiles. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sactown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sactown Sports app.
We have a little bit of news here. No, Kyle. I see Kyle moving his hand. No, it's not. Look, everything is going to have a The Rock eyebrow emoji these days. And by the way, some other news. Miss Jackson, if you're nasty, win a pair of Janet Jackson tickets. We're doing that at 1 o'clock in 30 minutes, okay? Win a pair of Janet Jackson tickets Saturday, December 27th, Thunder Valley. Miss Jackson, if you're nasty. So you could double up if you got to go, or you can go to Tony Hinchcliffe and you can get the medium ribeye. Then you can go back and you can try the filet, okay? Miss Jackson, Janet Jackson, that's Tuesday, December 27th. We will have that for you in 30 minutes.
I think
all
that's
right?
a Saturday, but yes. He said Tuesday. I think that's a Saturday.
Yeah, it's Tuesday, Saturday. One of the days. You'll be there. The 27th. Go check it out.
It's the 27th.
I'm saying today's Tuesday.
Okay. I don't know where Tuesday came from.
Yeah, it's a Tuesday. Taco Tuesday. Saturday, December 27th, we will give you those tickets in 30 minutes if you are a lucky caller. But real quick, the update that we had, Domantas Sabonis did not participate in today's practice due to illness. Zach LaVine has been evaluated with a moderate left ankle sprain and will be re-evaluated in a week. That's from Brendan Nunez. And the first comment, he's traded for sure.
Wait, I'm confused. So Sabonis is illness now?
Yes, he is.
But not the knee.
That's a good question.
What do you mean he didn't was he doing practice before?
Yeah, somebody, Sactown Tony is saying, was Sabonis cleared to practice today? We might need to let's see what Brendan Nunez is doing. We might need to call him. All right, we're going to send Brendan a text because that's a good point. Is he not practicing because of the illness?
Yeah, I'm confused. I don't know why is he practicing if he's not cleared to play?
Yeah, a lot of people are confused at that one. I just texted Brendan. I said, can we call you? So we're going to try to get that for you. In the meantime, Kyle, let's hear from Mark Stein and what he had to say about Giannis.
If the Bucks reach the point at some point between now and the February 5th trade deadline, if the Bucks reach the point that they're going to field external offers for Giannis Antetokounmpo, the Spurs, like the Thunder, like the Rockets, are not expected to join that chase. The Spurs like what they have going. They like the team they've built. They like what their future holds for this group and the assets that they have to be able to add to it.
That was Mark Stein, and there's always a domino. Aren't you tired of these dominoes? There's always a domino. Who was the domino last trade? I mean, I guess it kind of was De'Aaron for 2 seconds, and then the Kings didn't make anybody wait.
It was Kevin Durant, and then Kevin Durant shut down the trade.
Yeah, I guess, and then Luka was just. That wasn't really a domino. I mean, something we're waiting for.
No, I know what it is. We're dumb. It was Jimmy Butler. We were all waiting on Jimmy Butler to see what would happen with Miami.
Honestly, that last trade period was actually insane.
The Jimmy Butler saga was insane. I think that's
Jimmy, Luka, and De'Aaron?
Yeah, but Luka happened in the dead of night. Yes, obviously after Luka happened, we were all shocked, but there was no build up to Luka. There was no we could do segments. We didn't even get to talk about Luka when it happened because De'Aaron got traded, and I remember the day after, our entire show was about De'Aaron, and we didn't even talk about the Luka trade.
Yeah. Yeah, so now we have a Giannis situation, and everybody is kind of waiting, seeing what the case is going to be. I think that this thing could be a bit fascinating because what Mark Stein is saying, Thunder, Rockets not expected to join that chase, and now the Spurs like what they have going. You take somebody in Giannis who he is over 30, you got to pay him a lot of money, and he has had this calf thing happen. Is there a world where his price tag isn't as crazy as we think, or is it just going to be a crazy price tag between 3 teams instead of 10, right? Because once there is a bidding war, there will be a bidding war, and now you have Giannis kind of saying he wants to go to the Heat. Some of this, I think, is on purpose. The information that these guys are getting, it feels like Giannis is just trying to create a specific bidding war between the Heat and the Knicks, and that's pretty much what it is.
Yeah, I mean, I think Giannis is still going to go where Giannis wants to go. It's just interesting that these Western Conference teams that are doing so well are saying, I don't know if we want to give up the farm for Giannis, which, again, Giannis is in his 30s. He only has 2 years left on his deal, so unless he is 100% committing to you long term, I don't know what the incentive is to trade for him unless you think you only have a 2-year window to win, which, by the way, New York Knicks and Miami Heat kind of have a 2-year window to win, so those teams make more sense than San Antonio, OKC, and Houston, where they look at it like our windows are just opening. We've got potentially 5 years of a championship window coming up with, and for the Spurs, it could be even longer because you have Wemby.
Yeah. Yeah. And some of the other names that were kind of brought up, and obviously the Warriors have had their name in the hat. I don't think it's going to happen, but is there a world where if it's between, and I know if Giannis is care about taxes, I mean, they got the sun. He wants sun and he wants good taxes. So California's got one of them. Okay, they got both, but they got one of them.
Can we stop with this Giannis to the Warriors thing?
I'm just saying.
The Warriors want it. The Warriors are so thirsty, so thirsty for Giannis, and it's just every indication is it's not going to happen, guys.
Kyle, if teams continue to drop out, it depends on what the Warriors are willing to give up.
Then what? The Warriors are going to trade them Jimmy Butler and Kuminga? Like, the Warriors don't even have the best offer.
Well, it could be Draymond, Kuminga, and Cannon Curry.
This is why the Warriors are not in this game. They don't have the best offer, and Giannis doesn't want to go play for them. The Warriors are so thirsty for this to happen, and it's not going to.
I don't know, Kyle. I would never say never, especially after last season. Frankie says that Brendan is filming practice interviews at the moment. Okay, and he's waiting for one more player. But yeah, I guess a report came out that Domas is going to be reevaluated, but we're still trying to figure out where the illness matches up with Domas being reevaluated.
Yeah, is he going to be cleared for this weekend? Because they have 2 home games, I think, this weekend, right? So maybe he's trying to get back for Saturday's game. I don't know.
Yeah. So I'm trying to get, he said maybe a little later, and we can always have him on tomorrow. So we were just trying to get that cleared up for everyone because a lot of people were confused as to why it was said like that, and that's what Brendan had put out. So
maybe Brendan should just tweet out a clarification.
Yeah. We'll see. So there you have it. And Sabonis with a little bit of interest there. That's an interesting approach for the Raptors. They got to keep winning, though. So if you want Sabonis, because some of these texts, Kyle, they want Sabonis out of town. Okay? Some of these texts from Jeff, keeping Sabonis would be horrible. He doesn't affect winning. Move off of him before he loses more value. That is from Jeff. Kimberly says, and don't forget, DeMar didn't say this is Domas's team. He said it's Keegan's team. So, yeah, I mean, these are all kind of parts of it. He's got to get back on the court. And apparently he's going to be reevaluated. Now he's sick. And there's all these rumors swirling around. So it's a wait and see period for sure. And I know, I wouldn't say I know, but I feel like Scott Perry isn't as concerned with the return for a DeMar DeRozan. I do think he is not going to rush the Domantas Sabonis thing. He can't. He cannot.
No, you've got to get not a Rudy Gobert type of offer, but you've got to get something that is the potential, like Vucevic going from Orlando to Chicago. You got to get a deal where you get a young player and multiple picks, and we're going to go to the bottom for a couple of years. And like good multiple picks, not like, lottery protected picks. You got to get either good picks or a bunch of lottery protected picks like the Nets got for Mikal Bridges.
Let's keep the conversation going. We have more updates, more Domantas Sabonis updates for you after the break. Also, Kyle's favorite topic, talking about fandom. Should you be allowed to leave your team of choice at any point? Allen Stiles, Sactown Sports.
Not all rooftops are created equal. Revival at the Sawyer isn't just above the city, it's above the rest. Think DJs, live beats, a crowd that's always in the know, and views that make Golden One Center look like it's in your backyard. It's the rooftop Sacramento can't stop talking about. Revival, an experience that's anything but ordinary. Whether it's game night, date night, or just your night, Revival is where memories get made and the city feels alive. One rooftop, endless stories. Book your reservation at revivalsacramento.com.
Make the switch to energy that works for you. Over the next few years, your utility bill is going to keep skyrocketing with nobody doing a thing about it. It's up to you to say no more. Continuum delivers solar solutions tailored for your home. They handle everything from design to installation, so you can enjoy lower bills and cleaner energy. Ditch your utility company and take control of your power. Check them out at takebackyourpower.com and have your home's energy powered by Continuum.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $200-$300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code BOOST25 to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code BOOST25 for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code BOOST25 for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Mike Rowe here with another fun fact. If your concrete is cracked or uneven, you can actually lift it back up. Whether it's a sinking driveway, a patio, or a sidewalk, do yourself a favor. Call Groundworks. I spent some time working with these guys. They're the real deal. Their people are trained and certified to lift your concrete slabs.
Groundworks, official foundation repair company of Cal Athletics. Schedule a free inspection. Licensed in all states where work is performed. See website for details.
Capital Casino, Sacramento's #1 poker room with primetime football. It's back. Capital Casino is giving away $500 per game in high-hand bonuses for every Sunday, Monday, and Thursday night primetime game. Offering the best food, best service, and the best action with the most variety of games in the region and conveniently located at 411 North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento. For more information, log on to capital-casino.com and please gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
Get more for your money at Elk Grove Chevrolet, where value meets style. Lease a new Chevrolet Trax for just $199 per month plus tax. Enjoy its roomy backseat, flat rear window, and simple, attractive interior packed with an 11-inch touchscreen, wireless Apple CarPlay, and wireless charging. The Trax delivers more for less. Visit myelkgrovechevrolet.com today for full lease details and see why the Trax is such a smart choice.
If a Lenovo computer for your business is on your holiday list, don't shop around. Just go directly to the source, Lenovo.com. It's your last chance to get exclusive deals on the PCs you want for your business, like the ThinkPad X9 14 Aura Edition and Yoga 7i 2-in-1. So avoid all that shopping chaos and price comparing, and just go directly to the source, Lenovo.com, where PCs are up to 35% off. That's Lenovo.com.
Lenovo.
Hi, I'm Chef Franklin Becker. You know the jingle. Now discover the facts about Ozempic, a GLP-1. There's only one FDA-approved Ozempic made by Novo Nordisk. Learn about the real thing.
Talk to your healthcare professional today. Call 1-833-OZEMPIC or visit Ozempic.com to view the medication guide and to learn more about Ozempic. Semaglutide injection 0.5, 1, and 2 milligrams.
Was the night before Fasteners Inc.'s 12 Days of Christmas sale. And all through the store, not a DeWalt tool was marked with a deal you could ignore. The bare tools and toolkits were stacked with great care in hopes that our DeWalt markdowns would stop shoppers mid-stare. So dash in today. Don't wait, don't delay. Fasteners Inc.'s 12 Days of Christmas sale, live now through Christmas Eve day. Stop by 6701 Power Inn Road for massive savings on DeWalt products now through the 24th. Fasteners Inc. Better tools, better prices. Country in the Park is back. May 8th and 9th at Cal Expo. Miranda Lambert, John Party, Chris Young, Turnpike Troubadours, Dylan Scott, and more. Tickets start at only $68. It's the perfect Christmas gift for the live music fan in your life. Country in the Park, May 8th and 9th at Cal Expo with the California Office of Traffic Safety and Caltrans, Michelob Ultra, and Bare Bones Workwear. More info at CITPFest.com.
Listen to the 49ers Red Zone Report daily, brought to you by Mountain Mike's Pizza, the official pizza of the 49ers. Mountain Mike's Pizza. Pizza the way it ought to be.
Allen Stiles
You can join the show by texting 916-339-1140
on Sactown Sports.
Brandon Nunez is going to join us at 1 o'clock. Okay, basically the report that's floating around, there's no report outside of Domantas Sabonis is sick. That has nothing to do. I think some of us, including myself, read it like, oh, so if is that why he's not practicing? What about his knee? Two completely separate things. We'll find out about the knee when we find out about the knee. That's just the Kings letting everyone know he's also sick. So it is a bit confusing if you aren't in the ins and outs. I get it. But yeah.
I'm still confused.
Yeah. Brandon Nunez is going to help us at 1 o'clock. Okay?
So would he have practiced if he wasn't sick?
I think that is something I have received a text that we are not supposed to speculate on.
Okay.
Because they didn't say. They didn't say.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm still confused.
Me too. But they did want us to know that he's sick, that he has an illness.
It's going around, you know?
Hey, drink the OJ.
Hey, 3 kids, man. I'll tell you what.
I'll tell you what. One goes down and the rest goes down.
You know the life, Sabonis. Sabonis got 3 kids. 1 kid brings home an illness. These kids are around other kids.
No, we were out in these streets and one got it. Tyler, number 1, Tyler Stiles. This is a couple months ago, and it was all cooked. It was all cooked, okay?
Yeah,
so
this is the thing. You and your wife and Sabonis, like, your immune systems are not prepared for the stuff that these kids are bringing home, man. Your immune systems see this, and it's just like, what is this new disease?
And we'll get into it. By the way, Tyler Stiles starting, I don't know what they call it these days, pre-K, it's daycare, but starting in the new year. So it's going to be rough.
So January?
Beginning of February.
Got it.
So it's going to be rough sledding. And I got a pretty good immune system, but it will be tested.
I'm like, this is supposed to be such a happy time in your life where your child is reaching new goals, but you're also just worried about the diseases, the airborne pathogens that are about to be infected in your house.
Just all the time. Well, I was going to try to segue there, but not going to do it. Jim Bowden, who covers Major League Baseball.
Speaking of pathogens, the Dodgers.
Yeah. Speaking of viruses, no, I'm not going to do it. Senor segue strikes again. Jim Bowden had this to say, and it got a lot of baseball fans upset. And as he's talking about Pirates fans, kind of reminded me of Kings fans a little bit. Here it is.
Bottom 15 markets have not won a World Series in a decade. Yeah, I get it. But I tell people as fans, you don't have to be a Pirate fan. You can retire as a Pirate fan or trade yourself to the Dodgers. If you want to see your team win, right now, the Dodgers have the best chance to win a World Series again this year. So if you want to win, you as a fan, you can go to any team you want. You don't have to root for the team that's your home city. And you can see the Dodgers come play in your home city. They'll come into Pittsburgh and beat you. So, look, if it bothers you that much, just become a Dodger fan.
He's saying it a bit tongue-in-cheek, for sure. A bit.
Surely, yes.
But Kyle, I mean, you did it because, I know I'm picking on you, but you did it because the Chargers left.
Yes.
Right?
The
Pirates have not left. They just stink.
Okay. While I do have a built-in excuse, my thought on this is Jim Bowden is making the correct point for the absolute worst reason ever to make that point. You don't have to be a fan of a bad team. That has been my point forever. You don't have to root for losers. You don't have to emotionally invest in a team that is going to make you sad and is going to make you sad. But he's making the point, if you live in a place, you are intrinsically part of a community that you then don't, like, he's saying Pittsburgh fans can then switch to Dodger fans to go to Pittsburgh games to root for the Dodgers. And he's making the emotional point of leaving your community that you live in and were potentially born and raised in to go jump to another team. And that is literally the worst possible reason to switch teams. But
look, man,
I don't think you should root for the Pirates. The Pirates, or here's the other point. If the Pirates get good again, start rooting for the Pirates again. But while the Pirates are going to be bad, you don't have to root for the Pirates.
There's no rules. Here's what I would say when it comes to specific situations. Obviously, like for me, I heard Dave talking about the Raiders and all the money that Allegiant Stadium is making, and it made me sick. It made me literally sick because as a Raiders fan, how bad they've been. It makes me not want to root for them anymore because obviously Davis is still doing great. His Vegas team, who he gives peanut butter and jelly sandwiches to, that's the winner, and he just looks at the Raiders as the moneymaker and that stadium as the moneymaker, and that's exactly how it's been. So I got some decisions to make in my own life. I don't see myself initially waking up one day saying I'm a Niners fan, but I don't know what I'm going to do. That's how bad it's been. Hopefully, they get a QB and at least start to at least tease me a little bit.
Allen, it's been 20 years.
It's been a long time.
It's been over half your life since the Raiders won a playoff game.
I hear you.
If you haven't quit by now, I don't know what to tell you, man.
I hear you, and I'll never forget seeing my kiddo in her Raiders onesie, and they got destroyed that day, and I felt like a bad father.
Yeah.
She's young enough to choose her own path, and I don't know that I would choose this for her. I don't want her to miss out if they do end up figuring it out, but I have no reason to believe that they will. And we bring it back to, I will say this, if the Pirates trade Paul Skeens, is that the equivalent of a team moving? Just from the standpoint of, would that be a big enough reason for us to give fan relief to Pirates fans that said, this is my last straw? If you drafted Paul Skeens and you traded him, I'm gone.
So the Pirates one is interesting because every year in those athletic polls where they poll players and they say, who's the organization you would least like to play for? It is number one, the Athletics, who literally don't have a home. And then number two is the Pirates. So the Pirates, I think, are about as bad of an organization as you can get without relocating. Relocating is obviously the big cardinal sin of sports. Mm-hmm. You're literally ripping apart communities by taking teams away. But the Pirates last year, I'll never forget, the Pirates had 3 sellouts last year. It was opening day, it was Paul Skeens bobblehead day, and it was Mac Miller bobblehead day. Those were the only sellouts the Pirates had all year last year. So I would never, ever tell a Pirates fan to pay to support the Pirates. But if for some reason they drafted well and Skeens actually had a winner around them, yeah, jump back in once they're good. But if there's no chance they're ever going to be good, I'm not going to force you to root for the Pirates.
And I don't know if I think the Kings have dropped off, as somebody is texting in saying, first of all, from Louis, Kings and Raider fans are built different. We don't quit. That's what soft people do. Not to be mistaken with protesting, quitting on a team, and then he always likes to boo Kyle. Yeah, that's something Kyle would do. That's from Louis. I would say this, Louis, you're incorrect. Because I'll tell you right now, I'll say the quiet part out loud. And I might get in a ton of trouble for this. But deep down, y'all know it's true. We all know Kings fans who have quit. We do.
I'll tell you this right now. There will be a certain number of Kings fans that will not come back after the De'Aaron Fox trade. That was their trading Paul Skeens.
And I think every team, every fan has their line. Now, the percentage of that line changes, okay? Those Warrior fans that are in Sacramento, like the Uber driver that I had, who he said, well, my girlfriend is from the Bay. Brother, you're from Sacramento. But he said his girlfriend's from the Bay, and he was a Niner fan, so he's a Warrior fan now, right? When did he leave? Okay? Did he leave when they didn't get Luka? Did he leave when the early 2000s teams, when that was done? When did he leave? Everybody has their line. Now, if we were to measure Kings fans as a whole have deeper lines than other fan bases, right? Warriors, once Steph leaves, we would say a lot of bandwagon fans could move on from there. Other teams that have kind of bounced around. But when I go to a Kings game and there's a bunch of Miami Heat fans and we are pretty far away from Miami, what do you think all of those people are from Miami? No. Now, I do think Kings fans are very passionate, but every fan base has fans that have said enough is enough. And I don't know how many that will leave for De'Aaron Fox. I don't know how many that will leave for Domantas Sabonis, but let's not get it twisted. I'm at the games. I see the cheering. All them people ain't from Chicago. All them people ain't from Miami. So I'm just saying, if the Kings don't figure it out, there's a whole nother generation, right? My kids that are 2 and 2 months old, they're going to come up. And if everybody's looking around saying, yeah, we don't know what the playoffs are. We talked about my wife's friend who became a Chiefs fan. So I'm not trying to get in trouble. I'm just saying everybody has a line. Everybody has a line, okay? Kings line might be deeper than other fans' lines, but we at the games and we hear the cheering. There are people that have left, all right? I have a buddy. Last thing I'll say, and we gotta get to the other side. Brandon Nunez is waiting for us. The same buddy that I told you that we texted that we used to work together at my previous company. He now lives out here in Elk Grove. My buddy is a Kings fan. Okay, you want to know most games that he goes to when he hits me up? It's Warriors games. He's got either 3 or 4 kids. He's doing well for himself. 3 or 4 kids. You know what his son is? A Warriors fan. His son is about, 5, 6 years old now. Now, is it on my buddy to say, no, son, join me? And even though I've seen 2 playoff runs in my 35 years, whatever it is, join me. So they do have to figure this thing out. And I don't know if somebody would probably say, yeah, your buddy is a bad Kings fan. I don't know what that line is. I think everybody can look at this thing differently. He's a Kings fan. He didn't leave, but he doesn't feel obligated to make his kids be Kings fans because of what he just went through. I don't feel obligated to make my kids Raider fans because of what I went through. Why would I? Life is too short. But I don't want to quit on them myself. So there's a level of, you got to figure this thing out at some point, Kings. You got to do it. When we return, Brendan Nunez joins us to figure out what's going on with Domantas Sabonis. Allen Stiles, Sactown Sports.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Our country is held together by small businesses. That's a fact. It's also a fact that 9 out of 10 of those small businesses will fail. Why? Because it's hard. Really hard to build a profitable business from the ground up today. Pure Talk knows that. They started as a small American wireless company determined to keep their customer service in this country. It worked, and today Pure Talk is determined to help other small businesses prosper by offering them the same white glove service the big guys get. Same service, same 5G network at a truly affordable price. Pure Talk is focused on businesses that employ welders and roofers, electricians, plumbers, HVAC techs, the people who keep the lights on. If that sounds like your business, give Pure Talk Business a try and see just how much you could save. Dial pound 250, say micro, to switch to an American wireless company who understands the power of small business. Pure Talk.
Year-end pricing's in effect. Every vehicle's priced to sell before the new year during Happy Honda Days. At Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
Get behind the wheel of your new Accord or Civic today. Own or lease during Happy Honda Days at FolsomLakeHonda.com.
As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our #1 priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop.
Folsom Lake Honda. Visit us at FolsomLakeHonda.com.
Your one-stop Honda shop.
Call Maverick Electrical to claim your free furnace tune-up or electrical safety check with a donation. This month, donate 5 canned foods to Maverick Electric's Holiday Food Drive and get a free furnace tune-up or electrical safety check. They'll collect your cans at the appointment and make sure your heat stays comfy and your lights stay steady, so the only thing whistling is the kettle, not your ductwork. Visit callaMaverick.com to schedule your free tune-up today. Give to get with no gimmicks. Limited appointments. Some restrictions apply.
Hey everyone, it's Kyle Draper here. If you're in the market for a new car, let me tell you about my experience with Mercedes-Benz of Stockton. From the moment I walked into their state-of-the-art showroom, I knew I was making the right choice. There was no pressure from the sales staff, and if I'm being honest, I felt like a kid in a candy store. I settled on the all-electric EQS SUV, and let me tell you why. First of all, the comfort. After a long day at work, I actually look forward to being in my car. It has several different massage settings, including my favorite, hot relaxing back. Plus, the seat heating and cooling features are perfect for the hot summer or those chilly mornings. Mercedes-Benz has the reputation of making the finest cars in the world. Now it's your turn to experience what I already know. Mercedes-Benz of Stockton is the best car buying experience you'll ever have. They're just a short drive down I-5, or you can shop online anytime at mbofstockton.com. That's mbofstockton.com, and tell them Drape sent you.
KHD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
Sactown Sports, 1140. You're home for Kings talk and so much more.
Live and vocal.
Allen Stiles on Sactown Sports.
We got this giveaway. Hey. Janet Jackson win a pair of tickets to see Janet Jackson at the venue at Thunder Valley on Saturday, December 27th. We're looking for lucky caller number 2. Caller number 2 at 916-339-1140 to win a pair of tickets to see the legendary musician Janet Jackson performing at the venue at Thunder Valley on Saturday, December 17th. That's caller number 2 at 916-339-1140. 916-339-1140, 916-339-1140. Pound for pound, most talented family ever. We got to separate athlete and musician, right? Or we can have that conversation, but music-wise,
saying 2 Hall of Famers.
Music-wise, give me a more talented family. I don't have one personally. I'm trying to think off the top of my head. I mean, there were.
Are there any like kids who are popular nowadays?
Yeah, I mean all the boy bands that NSYNC, the whole crew. They're they weren't related.
Maybe we need to farm this out to the text line. Like
there's some obvious brother sister groups out there. The names are escaping me, but I'm saying a whole group of 5, and then the sisters balling out too.
Yeah, the sisters balling out. The one is,
I mean, you got Beyonce and Solange, but that's not the same level.
Yeah, look, there are examples, but I'm not going to disrespect the Jacksons by saying the Jonas Brothers.
Oh yeah. I mean, no, not at all. But yeah, I was going to say the Osmonds as well. But 5, and then you got Janet doing her thing too.
So you're going with 5 total, and then 2 Hall of Famers.
Yeah, I'm looking here. This is 15 of the biggest musical families, and Brendan's just on hold, by the way. You got the Knowles, the Jackson 5, the Cobain family.
I'm less familiar with that one.
The Followell family, Kings of Leon.
Kings of Leon are all family members?
The Wilson family, the Beach Boys.
The Beach Boys are all related? Well, I
don't know about all, but some.
Well, that's got to be up there.
The Cyrus family is actually interesting. Billy Ray, Miley, and Noah.
Oh, that's a good one.
I mean, nobody is touching the Jackson 5. It's just a matter, or the Jackson family. It's just a matter of who's close.
I don't know, Alan. The father-daughter
don't
of.
Do that.
I mean, Miley bigger than Janet?
Yeah, Miley's bigger than Janet, but you have 5 of them out there singing.
Sure. But I'm saying,
Kyle, answer the phones, Kyle.
I'm saying Miley Cyrus is Grammy winner. Like we're talking about generational talent right there. Is that the Barry and Bobby Bonds situation?
Yeah. And by the way, our new friend of the show, now Louis is mad at us as to what we said. I told Louis he doesn't speak for all Kings fans, and now he's getting upset. So that's just how it goes sometimes. Louis, I can't answer your call again, brother, but we appreciate you. Let's get to Brendan Nunez, who wants to be a part of the conversation. Brendan, thank you for joining us, man.
Thanks for having me. Miley Cyrus generational might be quite a take, Kyle. I'm all about the climb, but that's
what are we talking about? That she won a Grammy.
Cool.
That doesn't make you generational.
First song of the year.
Kyle.
That doesn't make you generational. Is all.
Miley Cyrus. We're debating if Miley Cyrus is a generational star.
Kyle, get to the phone lines.
You're on the wrong side of this argument, Kyle.
Get to the phone lines, Kyle. It was all going so well. All right, Brendan, can you help us out here? Because you put out a tweet about Domas and his illness, and I saw responses. He missed practice. I saw responses from, or I saw responses to your tweet, and people were a bit confused, trying to figure out, well, what's up with the knee? So we were texting back and forth, but just tell the good people, this is independent, right? This is independent of the knee, and we'll find out about the knee when we find out about the knee. I think people were saying, well, did he not practice because of the sickness, or what's up with the knee? Can you give us some clarity on that?
Yeah, I mean, I think just to start, the 3 to 4 week evaluation that they initially gave when Domas had this knee injury, 3 weeks was the 11th, and 4 weeks is going to be the 18th. So either way, we are approaching the timeline where, again, this is reevaluation, not necessarily return to court. But I think that puts him at least in play for their upcoming game in Portland. And to what you said, I mean, yes, I do think that the illness today, that is what kept him out of practice, or at least the main thing that they highlighted, is independent of that. Now, we're unclear on if he was not sick, could he have been out there? I would guess not, because we did not get any sort of reevaluation update. But with that already, being a timeline that was approaching within the next few days here, I think that's what makes this illness, I guess, sort of key, because more likely than not, Domas was not far from coming off the injury report, assuming that the reevaluation was going to come back well.
Well, what are your thoughts, Brendan? We got Brendan Nunez here of Sactown Sports, one of our digital editors. Brendan, what are your initial thoughts? I mean, we're coming to a close on the 48 hours. A player that gets traded, I guess nobody cares about this rule, but a player that gets traded within these first 48 hours between the 15th and the 16th could be used again in a trade. It's the same thing that happened to Dennis Schroeder last season, but we're running out of time here, Brendan, if not already ran out of time, and no moves have been made. What are your thoughts on the beginning of this trade deadline, and maybe it was kind of overstated what could happen early on? Is this what you expected, or did you think maybe something would happen in these first 48 hours?
Yeah, I mean, I think that this is just the beginning of the trade period being opened, essentially, and it doesn't mean that the floodgates were about to pour through on the day of the 15th. Hey, Dennis Schroeder made it to the 16th. We talked about a guy that got traded on the 15th last year. But more often than not, you're not seeing too many trades on those days. Like, a lot of the players that the Kings want to trade were already trade eligible. There is the Dario Saric matching salary. There's Dennis Schroeder that we've talked about. But they could have traded Zach. They could have traded DeMar during this time, Domas, Keon, Malik. There's a lot of guys that were already trade eligible. So I think a lot of what's going to be the case here is, it's cliche, but it takes two to tango, right? And we know that Sacramento's trade pieces aren't necessarily the most coveted around the league. I think it's going to take very specific scenarios for teams to have interest in them. When you look at Milwaukee, like, they still got to feel out, okay, are we going to trade for Zach or DeMar and then trade Giannis a couple months later? They probably got to feel that situation out a little bit more. So I'd imagine that the Kings are kind of patiently waiting for other teams to be ready rather than themselves ready to pull the trigger there.
Talking to Brendan Nunez. Brendan, do you have, I guess, any predictions on what goes down during this trade season in general. We're seeing the interest from Domantas Sabonis. Spent a lot of time on Sabonis today because I thought it was just interesting how we typically don't. Not even, people don't even ask Scott Perry about Domantas Sabonis, but we know what that price tag looks like. It could be just DeMar DeRozan, Malik Monk. Do you have a prediction on what's going to go down this specific trade deadline?
Yeah, I mean, I think, not breaking any news, but that everybody will be available, essentially. Maybe not Keegan Murray or Nate Clifford, as we've seen with previous reports. But DeMar, to me, feels like the most likely to land somewhere. I think between him and Zach, I think the Kings, this isn't because they're bad players, but I honestly think that they'd be better just without one of those guys, even if you don't replace them, which obviously they would get things back in a deal. But I think you really need to move on from one of those guys. And just because DeMar is the easier contract to move with the non-guaranteed salary next year and a lower price point when it comes to needing to match salaries in a deal, I think DeMar is sort of the obvious candidate here. And then I would really look at Malik Monk and Keon Ellis, too. A lot of people are saying that the Kings want to keep Keon Ellis around and come to some sort of an agreement when he becomes extension eligible in February. It wouldn't surprise me if Keon's not really rolling with that, though, based on how everything is gone. And if you know that's going to be the case where he's going to walk, then you probably try and ship him off for something rather than losing him in unrestricted free agency. So those are the two that I feel pretty good that are probably going to end up in another scenario. And then Malik Monk's an interesting one, and you could go down the line with Zach LaVine and Domantas Sabonis in the same conversation. But Malik even more so, I would say, is there a team that's willing to commit to the salary that he has for the amount of years? A lot of people are really locked into having cap space in the next coming seasons, and Malik Monk locks that up a little bit. We've heard that with the Jonathan Kuminga conversation and a couple other teams as well. Like, Malik is a great player who's Sixth Man of the Year candidate, but I think that's somewhat of a, for lack of a better word, luxury piece. Like, I think that's something that already contending teams that are right there are chasing. And there's only a handful of those guys. Like, I don't know that the New York Knicks necessarily need him when you already have Jordan Clarkson. And the Knicks are a good example of a team that is in a really tough salary situation. And I think there's a lot of teams around the league that are like that probably would like Malik Monk in theory, but committing to his salary becomes a lot more complicated. So I personally think DeMar and Keon are probably the two most likely to be moved, while I'm expecting a lot of rumors to be flying around about interest and them attempting to shop the likes of Zach LaVine, Malik Monk, and potentially Domantas Sabonis.
Brendan, I got to ask you, and I know that the De'Aaron Fox thing, you were very plugged in on the De'Aaron Fox thing, and we didn't spend a ton of time on it. We talked about it early on, but just your take on, I guess, a couple of things on what De'Aaron had to say. And I don't know, for me, it just kind of was what it was. We know how De'Aaron feels. He's in a great position and good for him. But that part of it, and then the little nugget that Mark Spears dropped in the article as well, just about the current disconnect with the vets and Doug Christie. I thought that was fascinating. But real quick, just your thoughts on De'Aaron, and then we'll get to the nugget that Mark Spears dropped about the disconnect. And you were at practice today, whether or not somebody asked them about it and that whole process. Just give us your thoughts on the last kind of 24 hours of Kings drama, if you will.
Yeah, Doug did not get asked about the disconnect today, for what it's worth. I guess kind of slip up on our end, didn't realize until after he was walking away. But I will say that, yeah, the De'Aaron stuff was interesting to me. I think it's the first time we've really heard him be like, the summer of 2024 is where it all went downhill. He had been blunt previously about essentially, why are we hesitant to commit to Mike Brown, and letting the front office know if I play for another coach, it's going to be another organization. And that's how it ended up playing out, So I think not the most surprising. It is, I chuckle a little bit personally when I see the grass is greener on the other side, because to me it's kind of a no duh that you'd rather be a member of the Spurs than the Kings, to be honest. There could not be polar opposite organizations when it comes to consistency and how they function on a year-to-year basis. So it makes a lot of sense to me. I think also, I only really keep up with Keegan on that team thing, I think is something that we've covered in the past, but I think a lot of people still get confused a little bit about the relationship that De'Aaron Fox and Malik had. I think that they were really good teammates, but I don't know. I think the best friend thing was always a little bit overblown, and I think that's just another example of that. So, yeah, intriguing stuff, but honestly, nothing all too surprising there. And then Mike Brown, I love Mike taking the high road a little bit when getting asked about this stuff and being appreciative for the opportunity, which, to his point, maybe he doesn't end up in New York if he doesn't have the great run he did in Sacramento, even if it didn't end in the way that he may have preferred. So, yeah, I mean, just another example, to be honest, of the Kings have good players in their organization and then end up forcing them to sort of sour on them and go somewhere else. So, big thing coming into this year was changing the identity of the team, and I honestly think that they've worked in a negative direction up to this point. So a lot of progress needs to be made to fix not only their perception or not only their play, but their perception as an organization, I think.
So I do want to bug you a little bit more, Brendan, before we move on about the Mark Spears thing, because I just wanted to hear from you. Have you heard anything about a disconnect that you're able to share with us on the air? And were you surprised when you heard it or not really? And I know those questions kind of connect together. But before we move forward, I just wanted to highlight that specific piece that Mark Spears said, because Mark Spears, we know that, Hall of Famer, and he's very plugged in. But I know you're also in the locker room and, talking with other members of the media. So I just wanted to get your thoughts on that.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's guys that are frustrated. I think that you've seen just interesting moments and quotes from guys all year. Really early in the season, there was the picking up 84 feet, and this was the big emphasis coming into the year. And early on, you heard Domantas Sabonis essentially being, and I'm very much paraphrasing here, but I don't know about that, and you could feel that in the things he was expressing. And I think you can see it in a lot of the ways that these guys play. When a coach is saying, when we get into our actions, we get a good shot more often than not, well, then why aren't you getting to your actions? Because it seems like that somebody is disagreeing with that sentiment, essentially, and feeling like they need to take matters into their own hands. And that's not to single out anyone. I think there's a lot of guys. You can see moments where, at least it feels like throughout the course of a game, where Zach is like, screw it, I gotta do something right now. Give me this ball, and I think you see that from a handful of different guys. It feels like Russell Westbrook is trying to figure out, what does this team need from me on a night-to-night basis. So nothing, I guess, strictly to report there, but I think a lot of us have been wondering and had a feel that, there wasn't this sense of alignment that the Kings continue to be pushing here, because I'm sure that Sean Cunningham has joined you, I think this was last week, and said that there are guys that he knows would have bags packed and would be happy to be relocated somewhere else. So nothing surprising to me in all that reporting, and I think that you can see it play out throughout the course of this entire year, but specifically as they're struggling here throughout these games.
Brendan Nunes. Brendan, thank you so much for joining us, man. We really appreciate it, and for clearing up some of the Domantas Sabonis stuff, because I know I saw people respond to you thinking, wait, hold on, why? Well, was he going to practice if he wasn't sick? So we have the information now. We appreciate it, Brendan, and we'll talk to you on Thursday in the roundtable.
Thanks for having me, man. Good luck with the Miley Cyrus conversation.
Okay, thank you very much, Brendan. Great stuff from Brendan.
I mean, Pop Artist of the Year, Record of the Year in 2024.
Okay, so Kyle, so that's what you've been doing during this call?
Yes.
No, Kyle.
I've been Googling Miley Cyrus nomination. By the way, Miley Cyrus.
We just got to define generational is the issue here.
Our generation. This generation. Like the last 10 years.
All right.
Are we factoring Hannah Montana into this?
I mean, yes, that's our generation because we were kids.
All right, Brendan. Thank you for the call,
all right,
man.
Thanks, guys.
All right. I know you're on Highway 50, so be careful. All right, so Kyle.
By the way, won Grammys each of the last 2 years.
Kyle, you got to let it go, man.
I'm confused why we're arguing against the merits of Miley Cyrus.
No, we're not arguing. We're arguing you trying to bring it up in a Jackson 5 conversation. I'm sure Janet has a Grammy.
Sure, but
probably multiple.
Billy Ray Cyrus and Miley Cyrus.
There's probably another Jackson with the Grammy. I'm just saying, you want them to be two, they can be two. I'd have to figure that out.
No, Alan, I'm not even arguing them against the Jackson 5 anymore. Now I'm just defending the honor of Miley Cyrus.
Okay. Well, you can do that. Kyle.
I'm not even saying they're ahead of the Jacksons.
All right. Okay. By the way, and I think I don't know if we're getting trolled or not. 916 says the Smith family, the only one that comes close, Willow Smith, is fire. What are we doing, 916? But, I mean, it's not terrible. You got Will, you got Jaden, and you got Willow. But Willow and Jaden, no Grammys, no nothing.
They had their moment, though.
Yeah, no Grammys, no nothing. 916 says the Bee Gees. All right. And Kimberly is bringing up that heated conversation between Malik and Rasay, probably more than weren't really friends. I'll say this, and I know a lot of us have some experience with this. Don't work with your friends, right? Or I should say, a lot of times when you work with your friends, it doesn't work out that well. What do they say? Don't live with your friends. Don't work with your friends. If you work with somebody and you become friends, that's different. If you go into something with a friend, then things start to get a little bit squirrely. Right? De'Aaron Fox, and I have always agreed with Brendan Nunez that the whole thing was overblown. That's what I was told initially, and people would say, they were in each other's weddings and this, that, the third, and you don't know what you're talking about. But I have eyes, right? The way they interacted together, it just felt like, and they would give us little hints that they weren't that close. You know what I mean? And I honestly feel like in those situations, if you look at the dynasties, a lot of these dynasties, and I know it's rare to play with somebody you played with in college, don't get me wrong, but a lot of these dynasties, they came together and became friends during that run, right? And I don't know, maybe the exception to the rule was the Heat. And during that time, that was the time of the big three, because I know LeBron and Dwayne Wade were friends. But again, it was a very short stint, right? And they were just so much better than everybody. That is what it was. But the Spurs, okay, they became close as a team, okay? My time covering the Warriors, Steph and Clay don't really kick it. Clay doesn't have kids. Clay is just now, he's had a couple relationships, but Steph and Clay, they were the Splash Brothers, but they didn't kick it. Steph had kids and a family. Draymond, he started his family too, but they were close because of basketball, right? So
and winning.
And winning. That helps too. And then KD came in. They weren't kicking it with KD.
No,
right?
KD was going to the hookah bars in San Francisco.
Then KD goes to play with his friend in Brooklyn in Kyrie, and guess what? It didn't work. It did not work.
Well, it worked for like 6 months.
It didn't work.
Then Kyrie started doing Kyrie stuff.
It did not work. So working with your friends, it sounds cool, and it's not like the Kings had a choice, okay? Or those players had a choice. Malik was looking for somebody that was going to give him an opportunity, and the Kings gave him an opportunity. And I don't know if he had a ton of other options at that time, but yeah, maybe some of it was, I get to play with Fox. Cool. So they did it. Whatever happened. That's their story to tell, and I am sure we will hear more about that story in, I don't know, Kyle, about 5 years on a podcast, okay? We'll hear about it.
Okay, I was a little confused. Was the what Malik and Rasay said not public yet? Because,
I don't know what they said.
Oh, you don't? Oh, I'll tell you then. But I don't want to spill. I thought that was just out there, and we knew what that conversation was about. Now, I don't want to spill it if not, but
I think there's always levels to things.
Sure, but I don't want to make it pretend. I thought we were all clear that they weren't cool with each other towards the end.
No,
I don't know about they weren't close before, but they weren't exactly on great terms at the end.
No, I think it was a little bit understood, but there was no clear, the DeMontis Sabonis De'Aaron thing with the we're just coworkers, whatever it is. That was clear. And I think when it turned into high school drama where, as Matt George kind of described it, you had kids sitting at the Mike Brown lunch table, which was De'Aaron and others, and then you had kids sitting at the Doug Christie lunch table, which was couple guys that are still on the team now. With Doug Christie, I'll let you use your imagination. So it was kind of inferred, but the Domantas Sabonis thing was much clearer than the Malik Monk thing. But look, I haven't worked with a friend before. I'll tell you this much. Coming out of school, I lived with two friends. Okay, one of them is essentially my best friend. Okay, I got about three of them. Okay, one of my best friends in my wedding, things like that. That's one of them. The other one I don't talk to. Now, it wasn't technically because we lived together, but stuff happened while we lived together that I think eventually snowballed into us moving on from being at least as close as we were, and we don't even talk now. So I'm telling you, man, don't work with your friends. Don't live with your friends if you can help it. Or make sure it's a very short amount of time. Okay? LeBron got in, got out. Hey, D-Wade, let's win some championships. Not one, not two, not three. They stopped, but get in, get out. All right? Out with the old, in with the new. That's what Sac State is doing with their new football coach. We'll hear from them. And you don't think we weren't going to talk about Fernando Mendoza winning the Heisman, do you? Allen Stiles, Sactown Sports.
Coverage varies by plan, view contracts and exclusions at endurancewarranty.com.
If your car is out of warranty, one major repair bill could wipe you out. Just ask Ludacris.
Car breakdowns can wreck your wallet. Without Endurance, a worn-out timing belt could cost you $1,700. A busted transmission, that's $4,000 easy. An engine meltdown, $7,000. But if you've got Endurance, you could never pay out of pocket for a car repair again. With Endurance, your car's most expensive parts are covered. Plus, you pick the mechanic you trust to do the work. With Endurance, your rate stays the same no matter how many claims you file.
If your car is under 20 years old, Endurance has you covered with unlimited miles. Plus, your plan includes 24/7 roadside assistance anywhere in the country. Choose the name Ludacris trusts, Endurance. Right now, get $300 off any plan, plus a year of elite benefits, a $2,000 value, free. All backed by a 30-day money-back guarantee. For your free quote, call 800-298-9539. 800-298-9539. 800-298-9539.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
I'm Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group. Did you buy a timeshare because they told you it was a great investment? That's a lie. Most timeshares can be bought online for $1. To find out what your timeshare is worth and to cancel it, call us today and we'll send you our timeshare exit kit free with all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley for your free exit info guide. 800-791-0000. That's 800-791-0000.
This year, give them a gift that helps them make the shelf, not a gift that ends up collecting dust on one. During Lowe's December deal drops, get 2 free select DeWalt tools when you buy a select DeWalt 5 amp hour battery kit. Plus, all rewards members get free standard shipping. Shop December deal drops today. Lowe's, we help, you save. Valid through 12/17. While supplies last. Free shipping excludes Alaska and Hawaii. Exclusions and more terms apply. Loyalty program subject to terms and conditions. Subject to change. Visit Lowe's.com/shipping terms for details.
The clock is ticking. This holiday season, give the gift they'll really love. A new Honda from Northern California's best Honda dealer, Stockton Honda. Happy Honda days are happening right now. Score big with low payments, top trade-in value, and a huge selection of new Hondas, all at Stockton Honda.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
Based on the results of the study recognized on June 18, 2025, USA Today's list of California's top car dealers 2025.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave. I got to tell you, I am so excited to get this decking project started with Trex Decking and Railings. From the first time I stepped foot in the showroom last week, I was so impressed. So many color options. Heat-resistant composite deck. What does that mean? That means I don't have to do any maintenance on it whatsoever. They even have a deck designer, so you can go online and see what your dream deck will look like on your house. Just visit Trex, that's TREX.com to get it started. Tell them Carmichael Dave sent you.
Thunder, feel the thunder.
It's the energy all around you.
Lightning and the thunder. Thunder.
The thrill of the moments to come. The flash of lights. The rush of pure exhilaration. The roar of the crowd. See it, hear it, feel it.
Feel the thunder. Lightning and the thunder.
Thunder Valley Casino Resort. Feel the thunder.
Guys, leave weight gain, low T, and ED in 2025. For a limited time, Revive Men's Health Sacramento is offering free full diagnostic panels, a $400 value. Claim your free panel today. Call 916-619-3000 or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
The other guys must think you failed math. Get this huge discount.
Then the fine print hits you with $5,200 in mandatory ads. It's adorable in a scammy kind of way. At Hoblet, we skip the tricks. The price you see is the price you actually pay. What a wild concept, huh? Hoblet, family owned 77 years. Experience the difference online at hobletdodge.com.
Donate 5 canned foods this month and get a free furnace tune-up or electrical safety check from Maverick Electrical. Book now at callmaverick.com. Limited appointments, restrictions apply. Give to get with no gimmicks.
Allen Stiles. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sactown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sactown Sports app.
Arizona assistant head coach Alonzo Carter has finalized a deal to be the next head coach at Sacramento State. Sources confirmed to ESPN. The sides have finalized a deal. He'll be announced today. He'll be the 4th head coach there since the 2022 season. And a lot of people are excited about this. I know Troy Taylor was a name that had been brought up, but a lot of people are excited about Alonzo Carter. Alonzo Carter, this is from Sac State. We are thrilled to welcome Alonzo Carter as our next head football coach. Coach Carter is a proven leader who has demonstrated, and that was from Mark Orr, the director of athletics. Coach Carter is a proven leader who has demonstrated an unwavering commitment to developing student athletes on and off the field. His history of success in recruiting, constructing teams, and producing results at all levels of football makes him an ideal fit for Sacramento State. We look forward to welcoming him and his family back to his native Northern California and having him as part of the Sacramento community for years to come. Known for his recruiting ability and deep roots in Northern California, Carter is coming home and most recently served as the assistant coach and running backs coach at University of Arizona. Additionally, he has experience as a head coach at the high school and junior college levels. Being named the head football coach at Sac State is truly an honor and a dream fulfilled. I want to thank President Luke Wood and athletic director Mark Orr for giving me the opportunity to return to Northern California and lead this program. Every stop in my career has prepared me for this moment. Sacramento State deserves a program built on discipline, effort, and pride. We're here to raise the standard and represent this university the right way. All right, so he was the head coach at, shout out, Contra Costa Junior College from 2010 to 2016. Kyle, that college, by the way, is the college that knocked us out my sophomore year at Kenyatta College. Just so you know. So that whenever I hear Contra Costa College, we should have won that one. And
little bit of rivalry?
We got swept. We were leading, Kyle, game 1, and then I'll move on. Game 1, we're up 3, okay? Up 3. It was a 3-game series. We're up 3 on the road at Contra Costa College. We give up a ding-dong Donkey Kong grand slam. 4-run homer, Kyle, and we lose the game. So I just had to tell you that. So
it was a sweep, though.
And then we got smacked the next game.
Okay.
So it was a wrap.
But that was the one where the series turned.
Well, yeah, you got to win game 1 if you're on the road.
And it's a 3-game series.
That's right. As a head coach at Contra Costa College, Carter led the team to 4 conference titles and a pair of bowl victories in 2012. They won the Bay Valley Conference. He was named the league coach of the year, as well as the CCFA Region 2 Coach of the Year. He graduated from Cal State East Bay in 2016. He was a member of the Pioneers football and track and field teams while the school was known as Cal State Hayward. And I believe, he is from Oakland. So shout out Oakland. And
I saw also going around he was a MC Hammer backup dancer.
I did see that. So we'll see what happens there. And Alonzo Carter, it's all about the recruiting, man. I saw people going back and forth about Troy Taylor. And one thing that got brought up was, could Troy Taylor recruit in this NIL world the same way Alonzo Carter, they believe, can? And I think it's a good point. I know a lot of people thought that it would be Troy Taylor, so we'll see what happens. You just need a level of consistency. And I spoke with someone within the Sac State organization, or close within the Sac State organization. And they said Brendan Marion, they only expected them to be there 2 years. So it's not as if this was crazy. They didn't expect Brendan Marion, I think because he was such a hot, sexy name with the cowboy hat and everything. It's not as if they expected him to be there 5 years. It only messed up their timeline by a little bit. So to get somebody else that's an up-and-coming kind of a star in the coaching world like Alonzo Carter, I feel like they believe they fell with they fell standing up at least.
Yeah, I think the tough part, though, and this is kind of what's overshadowing the whole weird year of Sac State football, is if they had gotten the jump to FBS, that was maybe the pitch to have Brendan Marion stay longer, is the idea of, no, this isn't an FCS job. This is a FBS. We're in the Mountain West or the MAC type of job, which is if they succeed, a stepping stone to a bigger job where you're a head coach of a Big 12 team or something like that. Who knows? But I think the thing that makes all of it weird is the fact that they now don't have a conference. They, as of right now, don't have a path to the FBS for 2026, as far as we're aware of, and the whole stadium situation is hanging over everything. So I think those things are more indicative of like the program state and the desirability of the job. In terms of recruiting, man, in this day and age, as long as those checks cash,
that's true.
You can keep this thing afloat. Michigan right now is going through complete turmoil, and I imagine that's still going to be a desirable job because as long as those checks keep cashing.
All right, speaking of college, we had to do it. Everyone knows our favorite resident QB on this show, as we were talking about Raiders and fandom and quitting on your owner versus a team. Hopefully future Raiders QB Fernando Mendoza. So Kyle, I don't know how much you cut of it, but we're going fair or foul here because he says something and I want people to hear what he said.
This is, to clarify, his Heisman speech.
This is his Heisman speech. He wins the Heisman and he says something and I want to know fair or foul. Here it is, Kyle.
I only had one scholarship offer, but my family's unconditional love and belief kept me going and pushed me forward. These are the people who built me long before football did. Mommy, this is your trophy as much as it is mine. You've always been my biggest fan. You're my light. You're my why. You're my biggest supporter. Your sacrifices, courage, love, those have been my first playbook and the playbook that I'm going to carry through my side through my entire life. You taught me that toughness doesn't need to be loud. It can be quiet and strong. It's choosing hope. It's believing in yourself when the world doesn't give you much reason to. Together, you and I are rewriting what people think is possible. I love you.
Just beautiful. Just beautiful from Fernando Mendoza. And we knew he was going to come with it, right? We knew he was going to bring everything out. Heisman winner. I believe the first Heisman winner in Indiana history. So,
which, by the way, is it really? I mean, he was at Cal for 3 years, you know.
Look, man. He shouted out Cal. So thank you, Fernando Mendoza. And now we will see as the Raiders are in a decent position to take him if the Giants do get the first pick. But this is where I want to go with this. Fair or foul? Because the way he said it, some people were kind of curious. A grown man, I know he's young, man, but a grown man saying mommy, in that moment, are we giving...
Mommy.
Are we giving him a pass? Because I don't say mommy. I don't. But the way he said it was, mommy. I know what, I think he's Cuban. It sounded kind of Italian. Hey, mommy.
What? Yeah, I saw he was speaking Spanish at one point. I was trying to figure that out.
And I'm not roasting. Like I said, this is my future quarterback.
Mommy.
Are we good at fair or foul? How old is he? Saying mommy.
I believe 21.
Heisman. The way he said it, he definitely says mommy. It wasn't just in the moment. He says mommy. Are we okay with mommy?
I am, because I'm not going to bag on people in the pinnacle of their life.
Oh, now you're not going to bag on people, but you'll bag on fans for booing and paying their hard-earned money to boo.
Yeah.
But you draw the line at whether or not I can question saying mommy at 24.
Mommy.
I mean, you're making fun of him.
I'm not making fun. I'm asking a question. When is mommy done?
Mommy.
You can call your mother mommy as long as you want by me, especially in a moment that is the pinnacle of your guys' life. You've just won the Heisman Trophy. You can call her whatever you want.
Jeff said he also calls his dad Poppy. I don't know if that's true or not, but I'm focused on mommy. I'm asking a question. I don't know. I don't know.
Oh, so this brings up a new set of questions.
Is it Spanish?
Is he saying mommy, M-A-M-I, the Spanish version, or is he saying mommy like...
Mommy.
Razor Rudy says he gets a pass. That's the way Puerto Ricans and Cubans shout out their mom. Now, as I know, my mom's from Panama, so shout out. I'm not saying they don't. I'm just saying, and I'd have to talk to different people. If we're talking a language thing, then it's different.
Mommy.
But this isn't me saying it. This was on social media about it. So I'm just
So
double
now
checking.
you're defending yourself.
No, I'm not. I'm just saying this was on social media. It wasn't me.
So now you're defending yourself by saying it's someone else's fault.
I'm just saying I went on social media and people said, did he just say mommy? But it's a cultural thing. And that's what Razor Rudy, that's what we were both kind of on the same page.
Just go to a break, Allen.
We were both on the same page with that. If that's the case, I was on social media and I'm trying to educate people.
Allen, it doesn't matter whether it's mommy or mommy.
It does.
It's fine either way.
It does. It matters, Kyle.
Mommy.
It matters. Would you say daddy?
Yes.
No, come on, Kyle.
You can call your dad whatever you want in that moment. It's fine.
Kyle, you're not saying
Mommy.
Kyle. Come on now.
I will.
Kyle.
In that moment, it doesn't matter.
Okay.
I'll call dad daddy.
No, that's what I asked. In that, and Kayla's in the back cracking up. So he gets a pass for that specific situation versus just in normal life. In normal life.
It's fine.
Okay.
You can call your mommy and call your daddy.
All right, man. Kayla Anderson, Whitey
Mommy.
Gleason, come save me. Allen Stiles, Sactown Sports.
Mommy.
This Sactown Sports 49ers report is brought to you by Kia of Vacaville, located beside the Vacaville outlets. San Francisco improves to 10-4 with a victory over Tennessee, 37-24. Brock Purdy throws for 295 yards and 3 touchdowns, and Jawan Jennings catches 2 of those touchdown passes. Niners remain 1 game behind Seattle and LA in the division standings. Next up for the 49ers, they take on Indianapolis Monday night. You can catch the game beginning at 4 p.m. right here on Sactown Sports 1140.
Ready, set, win big. When the 49ers win, you score. With 49% off any large pizza, only at Mountain Mike's Pizza. Celebrate every game day with your favorites from our legendary crispy, curly pepperoni, bold sauced up wings, garlic butter drenched sides, and gooey sweet desserts, all hot, fresh, and built for a Niners victory. Download the Mountain Mike's app, join Mountain Rewards, and turn every Niners win into a pizza party. Let's go Niners. Mountain Mike's Pizza. Pizza the way it ought to be.
Sniffles and sneezes got you down? GoodRx is here to help with big savings on commonly prescribed cold and flu meds. GoodRx is free and easy to use. GoodRx is accepted at all major pharmacies like CVS, Walmart, and Walgreens. Just search your prescription, find a coupon, then show your pharmacist at the drop-off counter. GoodRx is not insurance, but it works whether you have insurance or not. If you do, GoodRx may beat your copay price. Download the free app or visit GoodRx.com to save today.
Hey, Ryan Reynolds here for Mint Mobile. You know, one of the perks about having 4 kids that you know about is actually getting a direct line to the big man up north. And this year, he wants you to know the best gift that you can give someone is the gift of Mint Mobile's unlimited wireless for $15 a month. Now, you don't even need to wrap it.
Visit mintmobile.com/radio. Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan equivalent to $15 per month required. New customer offer for first 3 months only. Speed slow after 35 gigabytes if network's busy. Taxes and fees extra. See mintmobile.com.
Sacramento, the wait is over. The all-new Hard Rock Sports Bar is here at Hard Rock Hotel and Casino Sacramento at Fire Mountain. Enjoy the ultimate 24/7 sports watching destination with 20 big screens with all the action for the premier game day experience. There's no other place you'd want to be to watch all the games with you and your friends. Now open at Hard Rock Hotel and Casino Sacramento at Fire Mountain. For more details, visit casino.hardrock.com/Sacramento.
If a Lenovo computer for your business is on your holiday list, don't shop around. Just go directly to the source, Lenovo.com. It's your last chance to get exclusive deals on the PCs you want for your business, like the ThinkPad X9 14 Aura Edition and Yoga 7i 2-in-1. So avoid all that shopping chaos and price comparing, and just go directly to the source, Lenovo.com, where PCs are up to 35% off. That's Lenovo.com.
Lenovo.
Hi, I'm Chef Franklin Becker. You know the jingle. Now discover the facts about Ozempic, a GLP-1. There's only one FDA-approved Ozempic made by Novo Nordisk. Learn about the real thing.
Talk to your healthcare professional today. Call 1-833-OZEMPIC or visit Ozempic.com to view the medication guide and to learn more about Ozempic. Semaglutide injection 0.5, 1, and 2 milligrams.
Listen to the 49ers Red Zone Report daily, brought to you by Mountain Mike's Pizza, the official pizza of the 49ers. Mountain Mike's Pizza, pizza the way it ought to be.
Couldn't wait to get to that. I know we had a lot, and thank you to Brendan Nunes who hopped on. I don't know if you were confused when you saw the Domantas Sabonis illness
I was just
report.
assuming that he didn't go to practice because he was sick, but he isn't practicing yet. So,
I got you.
But I don't know what you found out.
There wasn't really anything to find out. It just was that sickness was, or the illness was independent of
I know he's
the
supposed to be
knee stuff.
reevaluated very soon because Sunday was 4 weeks.
Yes, exactly. And we're still waiting to hear about that, the official kind of report on that. But we had Brendan on because I saw people responding to Brendan saying, wait, what? What's up? Was he going to practice? What's up with the knee? And Brendan, basically we can't speak to that because we don't know, but they should be giving some type of update. I guess, like you said, since he wasn't going to be in the building,
I
they
think
had to report
worrying about
the illness.
Domas's health is so 2024. Worrying about Darren Peterson's health is
Oh,
2020.
yeah.
Is he out again?
They're
questioning
rumors
the
that they're
hammy
talking about
again.
shutting him down.
What?
He's only played 4 games this season.
See, but normally the guys that get shut down, they do give you some good years. Oh, Embiid got shut down.
James Wiseman.
Kyrie got shut down.
But
James Wiseman got shut down, you know?
Ever since this mommy thing, he's been off the hinges. Actually, ever since the Miley Cyrus thing,
Oh,
Kyle
yeah,
has completely lost.
yeah,
he's
just-
completely off his rocker.
It just was ridiculous, truly ridiculous.
Where was
guys,
the Miley thing today? I didn't catch that.
Basically, we gave away tickets to Janet Jackson.
Oh, yeah.
And I
Miss
said,
Janet, if you're nasty.
name a more talented family, right? And we were going through it, the Bee Gees, the Osmonds, and Kyle says, don't forget about you. And I got to Miley Cyrus and the crew, and first it turned into him trying to, I don't know if he was arguing the Cyruses over the Jacksons.
I'm saying they're in the same category.
And then he just got upset that I guess I didn't have them in the same category.
That's it.
Well, no, then Brennan was like, Miley Cyrus, generational
That's
talent. What are we doing?
Yeah, then Brendan
It's a
came
different
in and said, well, let's cool off, Kyle, a
It's
little
a
bit.
different generation.
Look, both all talented families, don't get me wrong, but
I mean, the Jacksons are the Jacksons.
the Jacksons are the Jacksons.
With Miley
okay?
Cyrus, winner of Record of the Year at the Grammys.
I would go with the brothers in, was it Hanson? Mbop?
Oh,
That's
my
right.
goodness.
How can we forget?
They got to be up there.
Yeah, I mean, that's still,
Yeah,
that
you know, one
that
hit
song's
wonders.
still going. Jonas Brothers, they got a holiday movie coming out.
Jonas Brothers are actually
So does
still doing
SpongeBob.
things.
So does SpongeBob.
Oh, yeah, I saw that guy.
Can I say, by the way, who do the Jonas Brothers owe money to? I see them everywhere.
Hey, man, they got some
They're on
bops.
Remember when they were at the
movies.
MLB All-Star game for no reason?
Yeah,
Like,
look.
who do they owe money to?
Look, man, you got to get your paper, all All right, and that's exactly what De'Aaron Fox has done out there in San Antonio. And
oh boy,
it's been
2.5.
That's in your segue strikes
a 4.
again. And Whitey, we did not spend a ton of time on it. We hit it at the beginning of the show, and then we talked about it a little bit with Brendan because I knew he was very plugged in with everything.
Is that a hoodie?
Yeah, you're going to get one.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that is cool.
I think we're the only show
Looks
because
good.
Brandon from Promotions came in and gave me mine yesterday. But
okay.
Carmichael Dave was upset that he doesn't have his yet, and
like
Jason.
nice.
But yeah, you don't have yours.
They're
yet.
all sitting in our boss's office right now. If you want one,
they're there.
But our boss isn't.
You can go get it if you want.
Go grab it.
I'm sorry, I interrupted you, but you were talking, I was looking at it, I thought you had a T-shirt over something, then I realized, whoa,
no, it's
that's
new. It's brand new. It's crispy.
Woo.
It's crispy, all right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I'm not going to try to re-segue that. So De'Aaron Fox, in your segue strikes De'Aaron Fox.
Yeah.
Tonight.
Uh-huh.
Do you think the whole thing is being overstated or not?
Well, you mean the whole
hey, let's
Sacramento
make fun of the Kings, and because I was listening to the show yesterday, your show, and Jay basically had said, "What are we doing? Nobody cares about the cup." What I said today is, I think this helped the NBA because it gave them a really good storyline.
I told you what he said.
Yeah.
Is that what you said?
No, it's not what I said.
No.
She was telling me about that.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how I felt about it.
You were real pushing that storyline there.
I'm not pushing anything. We got articles coming out. And
Well, in Sacramento, I feel like.
No. It's national.
But the people nationally, besides the writers.
No, they want to make fun.
People are interested in this.
These numbers.
No,
telling
Allen's
you
take
right
is
now.
that I wasn't going to watch the Cup, but now that I have a chance to dump on the Kings,
That's right.
now I'm going to watch the Cup.
Mm-hmm. I get to watch Mike Brown and De'Aaron and say, "Ha ha, Kings, you stink," and call them, disasters from Germany.
Still won't say
Hindenburg.
Yeah.
And you won't say Hindenburg for some reason.
It just makes
But
me
you will say,
uncomfortable.
"Mummy."
I'm not saying mommy. Mommy.
The Hindenburg, which actually happened in New Jersey or somewhere.
That's right.
Yeah.
That you would know better than I. I don't really.
Whitey was around for it.
I don't really dive into that type of stuff. But
Speaking of diving,
De'Aaron tonight, Whitey, are you interested?
I'll watch. I hope it's a good game. I'm trying to keep an open mind about the whole thing. The players care, so there's a very good chance we'll see a good game, and that should matter. If they're playing hard and it's competitive, yes. It's not going to be, the atmosphere is going to be weird.
Yeah.
The whole Kings aspect of it, I think, I'm with Kayla, I think it was overplayed by a national media that's just like, what can we do with this?
Yeah,
I know.
Yeah.
Oh, let's poo-poo on the Kings.
Yeah.
But nationally, NBA fans aren't thinking, "Oh my goodness, I gotta tune in because they are dissing on them."
Yeah, it's the
former
King Cup.
Kings.
King's Cup. Remember that game? It's King Cup. All right, that's
King Cup.
That's what's going on here. You know what isn't going on? So I got to say, Schmal and Miles has to take a break. So
Should have taken my advice.
I did. I should have. He barely got it, but he did get
He
it.
had a touchdown too.
Yeah, but he rushed it.
That's true.
He rushed
Yeah,
it.
that's true.
So it's not just Whitey who makes fun of my running back receiving yards, but my buddies do. And I got shamed into the running back receiving yards. And I thought, you know what? Aaron Rodgers, he's always the smartest guy in the world. I think he's going to try to turn Adam Thielen into something. So I go with Adam Thielen. And you know what happened yesterday, Whitey? I think every running back hit their receiving yards. Not whoever that number 5 is on the Dolphins, he hit it too. They all did, Whitey, and I will never be shamed out of my running back receiving yards again.
At least you didn't go Aaron Rodgers rushing yards.
Yeah, half a yard was
Kyle
it Kyle?
got it.
I didn't see him run for any.
No, he ran at some point.
Yeah, but he didn't get a yard.
Yeah, it didn't get a yard.
Oh, wait, no.
He didn't get a yard.
He did run. He did not get to the line of scrimmage.
Because I was thinking about Kyle during that moment.
I thought he did.
No.
He did attempt to run.
And then he fell over. I remember at the end when he fell over.
So close.
Yeah.
But so far.
Yeah, and now they're saying, I saw Mike McDaniel said, hey, everything's on the table for next season.
For
the
Tua.
Tua thing, I saw a couple people just say, you got to cut bait at this point.
It's not good.
I mean,
It's
it is.
really not.
He is who he is because the other part about it is all of the rest of the team, Achan and the crew, they were ready for the cold weather, but he just turns into a complete pumpkin. And don't get me started on his smiling at the end of the game Oh my good! I
was wondering. I was like,
he's
aren't
laughing
you in
and
competitive
smiling,
mode?
and then he throws for a bunch of random yards at the end. It was just.
Oh, by the way, why were they still playing at the
Yeah.
Okay, you're gonna have. I could see that being where someone goes down, and there was no reason to even do that.
It was weird.
Didn't understand that.
Then all of a sudden, Troy Aikman was disgusted. He was disgusted with
he was taking
I'm not even going to try to say his name.
I was surprised he said that, and Joe Buck tried to save it and just said it, but he might get a call for that one.
He was taking shots throughout the broadcast.
You can't really do that,
No.
right?
Yeah.
You got to be professional, but
there's a better way to make his point.
Yeah, well,
I would say so.
He definitely made his point. What's coming up on the show today?
Today, Matt Mayoko's going to join us.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are we sure this week?
I think so. I'm going with it.
We thought it was last Tuesday, but it's this Tuesday.
Okay.
I started teasing it a week ago, and it's going to be worth it.
All right. Well, I will be locked in for that, and of course, I know that both of you are ready to watch the NBA Cup.
You
also,
know it.
I'll be pile driving isn't Sittery your guy?
It's Cidery. Is it my guy?
Like apple cider?
Isn't he your guy?
What do you mean, my guy?
I mean, he's a friend of the show.
Okay.
A long time ago.
He's declaring that a team officially expressed interest in a player. So I'm just like, that's not a thing.
Yeah. What is officially
Can I just say, though,
expressed?
on the Cidery thing, I won't say other names, but there's about 3 names out there that do it. Maybe because he's the most successful, but he's the only one that everyone gets upset at. But there are a couple other names, I'll tell you off air, but there are a couple of names that also do it, and they don't get in trouble for it, right? And I'll say their names on the air. I just want to make sure we're on the same page with this. But people only get mad at Cidery. I don't know why.
Because he's probably got the most tweets.
And I saw him, he posted about Malik.
Yeah, I saw that
He
too.
posted about Malik too, and a lot of times you could blame yourself because he's not saying anything, and he will give, hey, this is from Shams or Amick or whatever. He's just an aggregation station. That's what it is.
Aggregation sensation.
That's right. Hey, I know you're going there. All right. Thank you to Brendan Nunez who hopped on the show. Thank you to all the callers, texters, Sack Chatters. Thank you to Kyle Ledbetter. Great job as always. Whitey Gleason, Kayla Anderson, and Jay Johnson coming up next. Until tomorrow, secure the bag. Like the beam.
Like the beam. Don't forget about podcast.
Mommy.
Don't forget my podcast.
Gotta go. The only place you'll find Malik Monk is Sactown Sports.
Oh my, what an athletic move that time by Malik Monk.
Hey Sacramento, it's Malik Monk and you're listening to the home of the Sacramento